there's no surrender. Yeah. After all these years, I can't let go that easy. Say you'll stay with me tonight. I get bear with the thought of goodbye. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? There's no surrender this time. How do we find our dreams without saying goodbye? Where do we go? Where is the
salty breeze and the waves, the slower pace, the salty breeze and the waves, I'm at the right place. I want to live in an arbor town, like to see the boats leaving at the break of dawn. I want to live in an arbor town, surrounded by the sea my art is free. The salty breeze and the waves, the slow pace, the salty breeze and the waves, I'm at the right place.
This morning I miss you. I feel it in every part of my bones. Something hit me when I opened my eyes. I was feeling so empty inside. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I am missing, but I feel so close to you. Taking my time, let just a minute to be doing nothing. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I am missing, but I feel so close to you. So moving, and I need just a minute to be doing nothing. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I am missing, but I feel so close to you. Without you. This morning I miss you. I feel it in every
see what brings me here. It's a mother to all my wanderings. The valley's green will age with me. Its dirt will shine and linger. And girls will come in festive clothes, and the boys will wait a gazing, and birds will sing from tops of trees and sound like falling angels. Oh, mothers, I see you hold all the fruits of our love, and we'll raise them high. They'll touch the sky. We'll walk and work this earth. As the night falls, I'll see you home. As the night falls, I'll see you home.
Holding up in Hollywood, in a state I never could. Looking for a reckoning, digging up what eyes can't see. I'm waiting on a heartache to prove I'm alive. I'm waiting on a heartbreak to prove what's inside. Oh, I got a lot to say.
This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice tolerance.
GSL Season 1. Regeneration.
We are finally back. Oh my God, it's so good to be back, everybody. We miss you. It's been a long time to be casting StarCraft 2 for Toes and myself since the finals of BlizzCon.
That's right. It has been quite some time, and especially quite some time since GSL, having finished it off with the GSL Super Tournament Season 2 last year. But here we are. Oh my God, look at this. The 2019 GSL Tour, Season 1, 2, 3. Super Tournament, Season 1, 2. GSL versus the World All-Star event. Hey, I'm Toast. This is GSL coming back. Yes, apparently it is, with everything included. Thank you very much.
We had a really strong year for StarCraft. Overall, I would say 2018 was the best year ever for StarCraft. And we're not done. We are hitting the ground running. Took us a little bit to get GSL started, but here we finally are in February. And this is what our schedule's going to be looking like. Now, Lunar New Year, the holiday here is going to be starting tomorrow, so nobody's going to be working. Everybody's going to be going and seeing their families, except for me. I'm going to be sitting in my house in my underwear, playing video games.
I'll be doing both, sitting in my house in my underwear with my family. So we'll be back on Thursday. We'll have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday set of cast the next week.
Right.
Wednesday, Thursday starting later cast, and then Saturday. And then we will go into the last group in the group nomination the week after that.
Yeah, screenshot that last graphic we had and then write that into your calendar because we're going to be in a little bit of an unusual cycle here for GSL. I know generally it's just Wednesdays, Wednesday night here and then Saturday afternoon, but because we're kind of crunched for time, we're going to be ramping through a lot of days of GSL. So if you want to follow us the whole way through from the start of the show all the way to the finals, you want to keep track of these dates. We're going to have a few words here from Kevin, our CEO. It'll be translated by Brian.
He'll be with us all season. GSL's getting better. Brian, take it away.
I've been waiting very long for GSL to resume. I apologize for the delay. Although despite the delay, we're going to make 2019 GSL seasons very special. This is the 10th year that GSL launched, and for the past decade, GSL has been ongoing, and we are writing history all together. And as we hit such a milestone, we have a great news that GSL will be officially sponsored by Mountain Dew from Pepsi Cola Korea. So please give a huge applause and shout out to Mountain Dew. And also, we had the BJ Destruction series from Africa TV throughout end of last year to early this year, and then we believe that we have delineated a great content through the series, and based on the results of the Destruction series, we decided to provide personal sponsorships to 3 players, including Keen, who's playing today. So please look forward to all of our further contents regarding StarCraft 2 in Africa TV. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
For translating what Kevin had to say, our CEO here at Africa TV.
That's right. Everybody here at Africa TV, we are StarCraft people. We are RTS people, whether that be StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2. So it's very cool to be. It's cool to be part of this whole thing, man. And it's so weird too when they had the list of all those years, I realized, God, we've been doing this for a really long time.
Well, at some point, you and I are going to have to ask ourselves when we need to stop, but it's not now. It's not
It's not now. That much is for sure, but yeah, it's a little bit crazy how long we've actually been doing this. And for this season, as you can see, we are down here amongst the audience. I actually prefer to be casting down here. I feel like I get more of a vibe.
It's so much better.
You know, it's
and then I can
kind of
watch
cool
off the
being
big
upstairs
screen like
over
everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is fun. We appreciate production moving us down here for this season. It really does make a difference as a caster being down here in the audience.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just so excited to be back. Like, I have missed GSL with all my heart. You know, this is really kind of our main thing, and it has been for so long. Is it really 10 years?
This has been our main con. We've been doing this fake job for about 10 years, Artosis.
Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, indeed. So here is our lineup overall of the players. You might look at this and say, what the hell is going on? Y-Man MC? Dude, that's MC. The legendary Protoss player, he's back. So is Parting. So is Fantasy. Fantasy got out of the military. He said, you know what? I don't want to play StarCraft 1. I want to play StarCraft 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've had players like Rain and Silky go back to StarCraft 1. We've had StarCraft 1 legends like Fantasy say, no, StarCraft 2 is where I belong.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. He is doing fantastically lately. Of course, we have the return of many, many champions here. Scarlet is back here in the GSL Coda. She'll be the only non-Korean joining us this season, but quite a good one to have, right?
Oh, absolutely. Scarlet, I think one of the best non-Koreans that there is globally, and one of my favorite people to cast. I'm really looking forward to her games. And I actually expect we're going to have some more non-Korean representation coming here in Season 2 and Season 3 of the GSL.
Well, I certainly do hope so. Now, regardless of that, let's take a look at these groups. I mean, all the groups look very, very exciting. I'm interested to see if some of these old names can get out. Like, for instance, MC. Look at that tough group, man. Stats, Kira, Gumiho. That's a pretty brutal group to get top 2 in.
Yeah, it really is. As we continue on here, we have a lot of other legends here. Mario, a big fan favorite, destroying GSL last year. Curious to see how he's going to be doing this time around. But we've had some new players popping in, as well as some of these very, very old school players. Again, very excited to see Parting doing well.
Yeah, in fantasy as well, in the online tournaments, he has been a wrecking ball. It's crazy how well he's done in some of these, like Olimo League things and WSG quals and stuff like that. So I'm very excited, being a longtime fantasy fan for well over 10 years, to see how well will he do, because he made it into Super Tournament last season. How long was that? 4 months ago, but didn't look that good, right? Got just smashed by Classic and it was over. But he's obviously looking a lot better now. He was the first, when I first came to Korea, he was the first live match I ever saw, was fantasy. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's a great one. Big mom. Very strange to finally get down here and see that live.
마운틴듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션 시작합니다.
Was that a Protoss voice or a Zerg voice?
I think it was Protoss.
It was Protoss? I was glad to know that.
Terran, I don't know.
I was glad to know that they have. It's not a Terran voice, man. There's no that was a human voice actor with effects in there.
Well, it's like a computer human voice, right? Like the, what do you call it? The girl with the cords coming out of her head in the command center?
Cord head girl.
Cord head girl. That's why. That's it. That's it. I like to call it Robot Maynard, but whatever.
Oh, you're
another
funny.
of my favorite cord heads. I'm sure he's tuned in right now. So,
okay, so we've got all of our players in their respective booths. We are moments away from starting Game 1, our first best of 3. Again, it's been a while. I'm sure most people remember, but we are in the group phase here at the GSL. So whoever wins here and whoever loses here is not eliminated yet from Group A. The winner goes to the winner's match, the loser goes to the loser's match, yada, yada, yada. How long? How many months was it exactly since we cast at BlizzCon? Has this been?
Well, that was November 4th was the last day of it.
Okay.
So that was a while, and then
what was it? February.
Super Tournament was a while before that. So
yeah, February 2nd.
Yeah,
God,
it's a ways away.
It's been a long time for us casting StarCraft 2. Now Dark is going to be going up against Trust here. Dark has been killing it, by the way. He's looking like he might have been the best player in the world in between this time of us casting. Let's see if he's still got it.
He's definitely been doing well. I mean, Trust is still around from time to time. He shows brilliance. Other times he gets smashed, but generally gets into a lot of high-end tournaments. So I'm excited to see what he'll bring out. You know, with these kind of like longer quiet times, it makes the comeback a little bit more exciting because you're not exactly sure where everyone's going to rank up. Of course, we have had, qualifiers for Katowice. We've had qualifiers for WESG. There's been Olimo Leagues going on, various tournaments here and there all over the place of various sizes. So definitely we've seen some of these players, but like this is the real testing ground.
It really is. And so here we go, guys. We're almost ready to hop into this. It's going to be on Port Alexander to start things off in this ZVP Dark versus Trust.
Oh, I'm so excited about this too. The new map pool. I've been playing a bunch of StarCraft 2 in the last few days here, and I just don't know where to take my third bases. So I hope Trust lives long enough to show me.
Yeah. This is funny because we're going to finally get to really unpack at the highest level of StarCraft 2 how to play on all these new maps. I'm super pumped. Our game is loading up. Get ready. By the way, guys, tell your friends to join us here. It's been too long. We're finally back at the GSL.
리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 포트 알렉산더 게임 준비 완료.
Here we are.
Ghost Crew.
Thanks, Artosis.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Looks like you still got it, man.
Yeah,
after all these months.
Well, we have blue versus red in the most serious sense of it right now.
Yeah.
We didn't have nameplates.
Yeah, no nameplates there, huh?
Trust.
Sound like the voice swallowed its tongue there, but
it's a tough word with a Korean
robot alien
accent.
voice. Yeah.
Robot alien Korean voice.
Yeah. Ooh, this is the year of the pig.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Young and old here in the studio.
It's pretty packed down here, by the way.
Yeah, it's filling up.
Yeah, like they had a certain number of seats out, and they had to refill it like 3 times for people. So definitely a lot.
We've still got extra chairs here too if you're on the way down to the studio.
Yep.
Yeah, again, guys, get out there and let people know that we're back finally, because it's been too long. We kind of got a little bit off rhythm here to start things off in 2019 for StarCraft 2, and we're gonna have a ton of matches squeezed together here. We have Lunar New Year right after this for the holiday, but then it's like we're gonna be in the studio almost every day, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy time, no doubt.
And one other thing to note here as well is that we have had the ASL going on, the sister tournament to the GSL, casting StarCraft 1.
Yeah, and that will continue to go on. No stops on that train until it's all over. So definitely do check that out. We did just see some stats popped up. I think we're going to have a lot of improvements this season, like, for instance, having a dedicated translator. Very excited about that. We just saw some beautiful stats there, with Dark being 12-1 over Trust overall. Poor Trust. That's a tough first match, no doubt.
Yeah, it really is. So we're about to see the Overlord get driven out here. Darkoid on 3 bases. Looks like everything so far pretty standard here for Dark. And we're going to find out just a little bit what exactly this Protoss tech is going to be.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of hoping that Dark gets out of this group so we get a winner interview with him. Because really all I want to know right now is if he still thinks he's better than Cyril, you know? Because he was like the one guy that just wouldn't let that go and then couldn't beat him. So
yeah.
I don't know, I'm wondering. Anyways.
He also does give better interviews than a lot of the pros.
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic.
Not that we really expect necessarily great interviews with, pros. That's not why we are fans of them. It's more for their gameplay. But, yeah, he's one of the better interviewees we've got.
Well, looks like it's probably going to be an Archon drop, like with Dark Shrine here coming out of Trust. See in just a moment. That's what the build looks like so far.
Yeah, and if it is going to be that build, that's been a pretty common build. I'd say it's one of the better builds as far as just eking out easy damage. I mean, as long as you don't lose the Warp Prism with the Archons, you're basically fine. You're trading shields, which regenerate pretty quickly, and taking out, generally speaking, cheap Zerg units. But I mean, if you can get drones, that's pretty big.
Yeah, this build in general, it was super strong for a while, like the DT-based Archon drop.
Yeah.
And I still think it's a good build. It's a good build to mix in. But there were reasons why it did go away, right? Like, for instance, if you try to do the double prism, then Mass Roach could roll you over. You're kind of forced into lots of Immortals if you do this because you don't have that Stargate, which can allow a player, specifically a player like Dark, to be honest, to possibly get into Aspire, Mutalisk can be a little bit of a counter to this build as well, so. Yeah,
it kind of happens organically, the massing of Immortals, because you already have that Robo. And because Roaches, a lot of times, as you were saying, is a really good response to this. Now, we have the Dark Shrine almost finished here. There's a hallucinated Void Ray here.
That's
coming out as well.
Okay, so he actually looped it back and then sent it forward, so I think he's trying to make Dark think it's a real Void Ray, and I wonder if he did that, if he made it on purpose, because the way he moved it, definitely he was trying to use it to fool, but is there a build where you make a Void Ray right away right now?
Could be. I mean, it's been a little bit. The meta's probably changed a lot, especially the highest level of play. A lot of these players have been hiding their very best builds, too, until this tournament. So the DTs came out. Now, with this rush, you do have the option to come in there with those DTs and see if you can actually just get a free kill, for instance, on the hat. Once you go through that initial attack, you want to send them back and then turn them into Archons.
Yeah, didn't quite get it there. But Trust adding a bunch of gates that Dark scouts immediately.
Yeah.
So Dark is going to have a very good idea of exactly what's going on here.
Only one Archon being made here.
I think he's just protecting it with the 2 DTs.
Yeah.
And you can see Dark actually does throw up that Spire right away. This is, it's not an exact counter to this build.
Yeah.
But it can be good, and it's something that a player like Dark will mix in. You don't have a Stargate. Mutas are actually pretty strong. You can technically defend, but it's a bit difficult.
Okay, we have the Warp Prism with no shields. Just staying on the edge here does take out some creep tumors. We already see there's been a decent number of roaches made, and there's a second Warp Prism here full of sentries.
Yeah. Well, he made so many gateways. There has to be some aggression coming out.
Yeah, did that get... Okay, was spotted out. I don't think it was spotted before that, though, but we already have some roaches coming up here. Now, this is going to be going towards the ramp here. We could get a block off, but with those roaches coming up, he's going to get this initial warp, and the sentries, of course, can't really fight the roaches on the ground. He's going to try to do a little bit of juggling. Meanwhile, Archon drop over here, hitting this queen. Good transfuse there.
Yeah, something's going to have to happen with this, at least, though. Let's see. There are a few Zealots actually getting in with these drones, but there's some roaches in there as well. I mean, 7, 8 drones so far.
This is actually quite a good amount of damage. 9 drones now kill. Now, the Ravager can break the force field, but if you're fast enough, you can immediately do another force field after that.
This Prism actually getting extremely low, so I think he's going to have to either recall or lose both these. Yeah, he's just going to lose them both, unfortunately. So, was this enough at the end of the day? 12 drones for losing the Prism, losing all the warp in.
Keep in mind,
mutas are coming out?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is keep in mind mutas are about to pop out here. So I think the game can actually seesaw pretty heavily into favor for the Zerg. You know, one thing about the mutas is if you can keep the Archons alive, Archons can actually deal with mutas. So you know, your Warp Prism can still have some presence over here, even though you might want to send that back to try to defend it home. But now these Roaches and Ravagers are coming up here. They're going to be comboed in with mutas that are going to be headed in this direction as well, over here at the third. Yeah, look at this. If he can reduce any of the Archons, that is a huge victory for him. And in fact, this base might not even end up living, which is really funny because I mentioned the 2 big counters. One was Mass Roach, if you play against 2 Warp Prism, and one was mutas. And he's actually doing both right here. Yeah. Oh, now hold on, there's 1 DT that's coming in here. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get any favor here for the Protoss, but you could end up getting a lot of kills. Meanwhile, 3 mutas here taking these probes in the main. I actually think we've just seen Trust fall apart. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to recuperate from this. So it seems like the natural is the only place it's actually safe. The third base, by the way, was destroyed.
He's going to use some Archon juggling to try to, reduce the damage done from these mutas, but he already lost a lot of probes, like as many probes as he killed drones the initial attack. There's no way in right now, and Dark is very safely taking a 4th base, just making Roach Ravager. I don't feel like there's a great transition here for Trust.
This has actually always been a problem if you're trying to use Archons to fight mutas, is the mutas can basically pick and choose when they want to fight while still dealing damage everywhere. A big counterattack is coming here, and even though there's, I think 2 or 3 Immortals with this? That's not going to be enough for this many Roaches. I think that, simply put, there's going to be too much coming out here. But let's see how good the juggling is. Sometimes with a warp down. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, it was kind of an interesting take on the DT-based Archon drop from Trust because he got the second Prism, but not for more Archons, which is a more common thing that you see, but instead 4 sentries, right? And which is a little bit less gas and quite a bit less minerals. And he tried to do like draw your opponent away with the Archons and then force field the ramp and warp in a bunch of the main. But unfortunately for him, the Prism was spotted by that Overlord, like he pointed out.
Yeah.
Dark got Roaches into the main base, and he dealt with that harassment well enough, and his follow-up was just too strong.
Trust probably really feeling the pressure right there. Maybe even, I think, a little bit wiggly from that camera shot. It's stressful, man. I think he sort of started to pull off his strategy. He lost the Archons and didn't quite do enough damage. And from there, the third is not safe. This is a lot of times a problem with builds and strategies specifically set up as that, is if you don't do that much damage and cripple them, since you're usually attacking workers, you're not losing any of your army.
Yeah.
So then when you hold it off, the question is Protoss actually ready for a counterattack?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, we're going to go to game number 2 here. Dark versus Trust.
게임이 시작됩니다. 카이로스 정션. 게임 준비 완료.
In the top left.
Ghost Crew. Dark.
In the opposite of the top left. Whoa.
Trust.
Well, opposite of top left is actually non-existent.
No, it's bottom right.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to get a little bit more opposite, because top left is like a direction and a place here, it's like something that doesn't exist would be more opposite, I would say. Like matter and antimatter. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right.
Top
Put
left.
that in your pipe and smoke it, Tasis. Now look at this. Trust with the gateway in the main. He's not doing any sort of wall off here. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. We have the second Nexus coming down here, and we're going to have to see what exactly is going on. Some thumbs up there. People staying caffeinated, waving high. Everybody's having a good time. Happy GSL is back.
Yeah, happy GSL day.
It really, as a caster, it really does feel weird if you go for a long time without casting. Because normally, we're casting StarCraft 2 like pretty much at least every week or every other week. Because we do have some breaks in here and some holidays. But man, going this long without doing it, it did begin to feel weird. I did feel like my life did not have as much purpose for this time that we had off.
No, certainly. Just GSL alone is, let's see. I mean, we cast like 80 days of GSL a year, you know?
Yeah, thereabouts.
So that in and of itself, plus other events.
Are we counting Super Tournament in there and GSL vs. World? Okay.
Yeah. It's somewhere in that range, 70, 80 days, something like that. So it's just weird to go like 4 months without GSL. It's wrong. In fact,
it's criminal. Criminal.
Be so brave to say.
You are very brave.
Let's not let that happen next year. Okay.
Yeah, we can't. Hopefully,
let's get it started earlier.
Yeah. Okay, so the Overlord is going to flee over here to this high ground area, just out of vision of that Stalker. And keep spotting from there for the time being. Now, we had a very quick Robo.
Yeah.
There's also a quick Roach War in here from Dark. Dark already identifying right away, just even with building placement, this is not exactly the most ordinary Protoss opener, at least from past play.
And, you know, this Stalker popping out kind of tells you that most likely there's not a Stargate here. It is, in fact, a Robo. So, I mean, this seems to me like it's just going to be a very quick Prism Robo kind of all-in-ish two-base play.
Yeah.
Look, he's sitting here on 28 probes. He's not even making probes.
Are we really surprised, though, that Tress is doing something like this? I mean, it's like
I'm not surprised.
It's an amped-up build from the previous game.
Oh,
no. Okay, that was the one thing.
Okay.
All right.
He made
say you had one job.
Yeah,
Samuel Tully.
Kind of made a gas there. I don't know if that was to kind of sneak, and yeah, it was. Because the Ling was coming. He's like, I better make this look more real than it is. But a lot of units are actually being made by Dark, so I'm not feeling this one for Trust right now. Look how many Lings are in production.
Yeah, I don't feel like
Can we beat that with gateways.
The thing is that already he should basically be prepared for this. Now the Stalkers are coming out. You can do a lot of great micro with War Prisms and Stalkers against Roaches since they have more range, and the War Prism is among the most abusive, I should say abusable micro units in the game. But when you get this many Lings, it doesn't help. I mean, these are not Stalkers with Blink right now either, so the Lings are the natural enemy of them.
Yeah, it's quite true, but you know, you can do that fancy micro that you were talking about. Now it's 25 drones against 30 probes. This is really funny. That felt so low on economy, but definitely Dark's in a better spot if he holds this.
Yeah, I think this might actually just be it, man. I don't believe we're going to see any other tech. When you're doing this kind of rush, you're usually not teching with anything else. So yeah.
I'm not feeling too good about the chances here of our boy Trust.
I think our boy Trust might be in trouble town. He's making some Zealots here. Now, because it's mostly Ling heavy, it's a little bit harder to break this. But if any of these gateways go down, like if the Ravager, or let's say the Ravagers unpower the pylon with the projectile here, yeah, you can kind of just artillery this down.
Yeah, he doesn't have a shield battery. He doesn't have a force field robot. He doesn't have, you know, much of anything here.
Okay, and now the Lings
most
spill
of all,
in.
he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. Okay, and so our first best of 3 backer at the GSL was a bop. If it was a meal, it would be a bibimbap.
13-1 now. Dark extends this to.
Yeah.
Unless that was map score, not match score, which it could have been.
Either
so
way.
15-1, 13-1, I don't know. Call it what you want.
Yeah, so Dark will be moving on to the winner's match. And Trust is not eliminated yet. He'll be in the loser's match, of course. GG.
Yeah. And I think Trust will have a better shot against our other 2 players here tonight. So don't think that'll be as one-sided, but
look, we expected Dark to win. We expect Dark to actually get out first in this group. So
oh, indeed.
I mean, it's a tough series there for Trust, but honestly, the results are not really shocking.
Yeah.
It does hurt to lose like that, though. I'll say that much.
He brought some interesting ideas to the table. You know, he was trying to get cheeky here with Dark, but Dark is definitely a pretty stable Zerg overall. Even if you do a lot of damage, he's one of the few Zergs that can come back from anything.
Yeah, he's really resilient. That's rough though for Trust. You know, you could see he was a little bit off throughout this series. Like he accidentally let that Ling in game 2 to scout, which is a big no-no. You're trying to be airtight and mask everything that's you're trying to do. And so little things like that can usually hint that you know, our player Trust definitely not in the same level of comfort as Dark. We're going to go to a break, guys. When we come back, our second best of 3 in our first day back here at the GSL. Don't go away.
Sometimes I feel that I'm not acting right all my life. I've been acting childish. Don't mean to be like this, but I swear I'm gonna take my time, and I hope that you don't change your mind. So I swear I'm gonna take my time. Oh, I know it's hard to find someone like you. I don't wanna let down. I hope you stay around, stay around, stay around. Sometimes I put up a wall to protect how I feel when I fear the darkness. My heart has got it. Lighting my fuse is so easy to be, no excuses, I make it harder. For that I'm sorry, 'cause I swear I'm gonna take my time, and I hope that you don't change your mind. I hope you stay around, stay around, stay around. Stay around, stay around, stay around. When you see me at my worst, my worst. I hope you stay around, stay around, stay around.
I know I should be ordering takeout, sitting on my couch, that's what you do. I know I should be holding my feelings, staring at the ceiling, but here's the truth. Wallowing in it would be such a waste. That isn't gonna fix it anyway. No. Yeah, I dry my eyes 'cause I don't feel like crying. Ooh, yeah, at least tonight. No, I don't feel like crying. Hope you don't blame me for what I'm saying. My heart is aching. Do you feel it too?
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 리제너레이션.
We're back. Very short best of 3 there. Dark smashing Trust. Now this next match I think is going to be a little bit closer. Keen versus Deer. Deer is in very good shape, but you cannot count Keen out. I love casting Keen's games. I'm always rooting for this guy because he's had a lot of great showings here in the GSL. He's just never been the most dominant player.
Yeah, he's definitely had some peaks and valleys, and I think he's basically always underrated at all moments because he really can put out amazing games. And there's, like, for instance, he came closest to eliminating Maru last year. People don't remember that. Yeah. But, like, Maru had to eventually just do proxy racks against him because he smashed him straight up.
It's a really weird thing because I think that a lot of times in Korea, as far as visibility goes, you only get to see the 32 best players in the world. And so what happens is there's this weird thing where you have someone like Keen that's oftentimes eliminated early on, and it makes it look like he's not that good, when in reality he's one of the best players of all time. He just can't beat some of the other 32 best players that are there.
I mean, you airdrop him into another region, and he is a monster, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's still very good. He won't beat everyone. He doesn't have a lot of stability, but he has kind of his own style, his own flair to the game. He's kind of a fun personality as well. I always just enjoy having Keen around.
Yeah, definitely a charming guy, too. I really like seeing him here. When he wins, he shows a lot of personality. It's funny, too, if you look back at the old StarCraft 1 days, when someone won, they would zoom in on the players. You couldn't even tell which one had won. Like, they didn't show any emotion. I'm talking maybe 15, 17 years ago. And now we're seeing pro gamers with a lot more personality coming out here. Now, Deer, this is one of our only Royal Roaders here in the GSL. This guy came out so strong, dominated, and we were really wondering, okay, is this guy going to stay on top for a long time? But he then he got put in his place. He's still a great player. He's definitely had some ups, but he's also had some very bad seasons where he really underperformed. He did not meet our expectations. So we've had a lot of time off. I don't know what to expect here from Deer, but hopefully he does well.
He's kind of like a tragic hero in a lot of ways. Like, you know, I think he's one of the most respected Protoss players. Every pro gamer you talk to is like, Deer is so good. And then he'll just like die to an attack moved Cyclone. You know, like that literally eliminated him one season where people are just like, oh, here's like a Cyclone at a random time. He's like, oh no, it just falls over with 2 Adepts.
Right.
But I don't know. He's in good shape right now. He's doing well in tournaments. Let's see how it goes.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션. 게임이 시작됩니다. 카이로스 정션. 게임 준비 완료.
3,791.
아프리카 S2.
That's right.
킹.
3,791 Keens. Can you imagine?
That's about how keen I am to be back at the GSL.
No. No, that's actually how many matches we've casted here. God, we've been doing this a long time. So cool.
Newbie, Dia.
How dare you?
Of course, some pro gamers are joining some of the Chinese teams at this point. Some cool little newses came out. Wow, that's a weird way to say it. Cool little newses came out.
No, you nailed it, Artosis.
That there's there's like going to be some Team League stuff going on in the future. Of course, we had that BJ Destruction stuff over at Africa. I hope that continues forward, all that kind of exciting news. Now, to what should be no one's surprise, Keen is putting a proxy on the map.
So I want to go back and touch upon this because this is really how Mario changed the entire landscape of GSL. Mario was the first guy to start proxying all the time. And traditionally, we would think of proxy as some kind of a cheese or some kind of, it involves some sort of risk-taking, which I think in especially the modern StarCraft 2 era, we have to look at proxying as almost creating ambiguity as far as what your build is. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to be proxied. You don't know what kind of build it is. You're unable to see what the buildings are when you scout, and it could be anywhere on the map. If it's close to you, then it is going to be aggressive. If it's not close to you, maybe then they're bluffing.
Yeah, sometimes it's just tricky. Sometimes they'll, you know, obviously you're checking if they have 2 gas, so you know if they're going to get their factory quickly and stuff.
Right.
Wow, that was a pretty solid kill. A little bit of miss micro for Keen there for sure. But it forces you into things. Like you have to make this sell lot if there is a proxy, right? Because otherwise the Reaper is going to get too many probes. Good micro from Deer, keeping everything alive for now.
Okay, the Reaper is going to have to back out now. On this map, it's pretty tricky to get the Stalker back in. I'm sorry, the Reaper back in. Once that Stalker's out, we got a lift-off coming here now, as we're going to see Keen tech up.
Yeah, he's going to be going into a Cyclone, no doubt about it. But it looks like he's expanding behind this as well. So this isn't really that aggressive overall.
Okay, we have now 2 Reapers being used. Now with the bombs, you actually can do a lot of damage to this, even though you think on paper that Zealot and Stalker can easily beat this with good micro and using those nades. You can actually really push them back and kind of control that pressure.
And just delaying it at all is going to give you enough time to do something like get a Cyclone out. Yeah. And a Stalker and a Zealot want nothing to do with the Cyclone. So, of course, he does turn around. Just kind of putting that pressure on keeps the Reapers away from him anyways. So, just a little to and fro here. This is the StarCraft 2 equivalent of footsies.
Oh yeah, like from fighting games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, from high school. I really like you.
I really like her. I'll just keep rubbing my toes on her. So
my dirty shoes.
The Reapers are actually going to come through here. There was a little bit of a hole in the defense. Can he actually get out of here?
He's like, oh my God, there's a ramp over there. Well, he utilizes a force field there, so we're not going to see a hallucination.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big. That is the story there. It's not that one of the Reapers died. It's that the energy was spent on the from the Sentry using that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see exactly what his build is. He got a Robo right away, so I guess you're fine doing this, right?
Hold on.
Deer looks like he wants to go over and put on a little bit of pressure.
Keen gets up here. Yeah, Keen gets a scout in the main here. This is big. I don't know if he saw, well, I think he has a pretty good idea. He didn't see the Robo. I guess he didn't see the other gates over there, but I think that's basically enough for you to... Oh, and he's going to, excuse me, he's going to still be able to come through here. Might be able to get some kills off before this shield battery actually finishes.
Yeah, very annoying stuff right there. And he has a great scout as well, right? He's seen a prism, he sees 3 gates. I mean, that's about all the intel you need. And these Reapers did a fantastic job. Because now Deer is playing, you know, mostly blind. You have an idea of what the Terran is most likely doing here.
Now it's nothing new to have a War Prism try to come into the main here and then possibly try to control the ramp. The Observer's going to come in here and spot and see that most of the infantry have to be in the main because of the lack of presence there at the natural.
Yeah, he sees the Banshee as well.
Right.
So that is a very important scout right there from the Observer.
So seeing that Observer get killed off, we want to keep our eyes on how many Robo units are killed throughout this game because that's the easiest way to control options here for the Protoss when they're relying on one Robo and then using a bunch of gateways. Every time you see an Observer snipe, well, you probably have to remake that, therefore you're not making it immortal, or you lose a War Prism, same idea. So taking out the tools here for Protoss is one way to really gauge how many options Deer's going to have here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, right? Because he sent one Observer, it died. He sent another one. Okay, that's cool. I think that's good. Obviously, you want to see when they're moving out and kind of keep a track of when the 3rd Command Center starts, things like that. But he doesn't really have Observers at home, right? And we saw Keen sitting there pooling Banshees. So if you fly in with 2 Banshees, shield batteries aren't going to do anything against that. You know, Cloak Banshee play, I mean, Maru kind of started it for us last year, but it's definitely continued forward. People like to use Cloaked Banshees against Protoss right now. And see, there's no detection here. So I feel like this could do massive damage.
Yeah, it's that Observer getting hit again. Now we have the Warp Prism on the run.
Oh, okay, he has one there.
I'm sorry, yeah, one in the natural.
And then he sees this come
he's
out.
pulling SCVs here.
So
yeah, this is going to be a pretty sick timing. And here come the Cloak Banshees. I don't think there's an observer in the main, right? I don't
this
see
is
one.
the problem because, like you said, Tasis, keep track of the robo and what it's filling. I was, and I realized that there was not enough observers at home. So this is pretty massive damage.
You can actually see that
if
you sync up the Banshee shots, that shield battery suddenly becomes way less useful.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And now he gets into perfect position. You have to engage this before it's right there.
Okay, siege mode coming up. Can the Immortals get over to where those tanks are? It looks like one's going to be taken out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the Banshees coming in here and targeting down that Colossus.
The Banshees are doing so much extra damage here as well. It looks like Deer should still be able to end up holding on. So
I'm actually a little bit shocked. Deer made that look really, really easy, almost as if that timing was not a thing.
yeah.
I guess seeing as how everything was working towards the Terran, getting the ideal engagement, I'm surprised that didn't do more.
Well, yeah, Deer definitely made a very good unit set, but he has lost a lot of probes throughout this. He's only on 38 workers with 3 Nexuses right now.
Yeah,
so.
But that being said, I think we had a lot of those factory units taken out there. SCVs were pulled with that.
That's fair.
We have Terran on 2 bases. I'm sorry, is there a third command center here?
I haven't seen yet.
I was not checking.
Oh, yeah, okay, so he's building an orbital right now, so he definitely does have one.
Good catch. So,
but yeah, I mean,
how are you going to take a third base as Terran, though? I mean, I think if Deer can stabilize and just swat away these Banshees, I think that he's actually going to be in pretty decent shape. I mean, you could chrono out a lot of probes pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the probe saturation for right now is kind of weak. And when you think about economies in this matchup, for it to be like equal economies, what we kind of consider equal for PvT, the probe count should be higher than the SCV count. The fact that it dipped lower there, the Banshees are still flying around. We don't see perfect defense against these Banshees by any means. So I'm still, I'm still cautiously optimistic for our Protoss player here.
Nice snipe there on the Observer. And the third base is going to be taken adjacent to the main. Now, the Banshees are going to dive in once again. And as Colossus, realizing it can't hit air, decides to back up. Can't get his lasers pointed that high. If he was a little bit taller, he could hit it. But let's see, actually, if Terran's going to be able to fend this off, because this is actually pretty scary. The Immortals and the Colossi here, War Prism to Micro if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 Immortals packing a very big punch here.
You can really see how useless the SCVs are when they're pulled. I mean, you kind of got to do it, but when you have this many Colossus out, they just one-shot the SCVs so easily. Beautifully done, keeping the third Colossus alive.
Wow. Damn, Deer. Just walking forward right now, right into these siege tanks and everything. Definitely taking some damage on the Colossus. Loses one of them, but...
And siege tank getting some serious value at the bottom there, but still, I think there's too much. And the fact that Protoss can reinforce and push pretty easily with the War Prism still a factor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, at this point...
I don't know what's at the natural. Okay, there's nothing at the natural. So I think from here, Deer just walks in and smashes.
That's too bad for Keen, too, because the initial Banshee harassment was really quite nice. It's just... the attack that he brought up got held much more easily than I thought it was going to, and obviously easier than Keen thought. Or otherwise he wouldn't have done it. He's like, yeah, no, now I lose my whole army and don't really kill much.
All these SCVs used a buffer have been taken out. GG, Deer takes game number 1.
Yeah, some cool play from him overall. It seems like the only real misstep at all for Deer here was not having detection in his main base for those Cloaked Banshees.
You know, it's really weird because when we saw that Keen basically had about as ideal of a setup as you can with that timing push, the fact that it didn't do anything, it makes me wonder what his practice games look like, because that had to be smashing something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that overall, I liked the play, how he waited for the 2 Banshees. You're not going to find a Protoss that doesn't have a shield battery ready for the first Banshee, because it just, like, negates it. Cloak, no cloak, who cares? But when you wait for the 2 and then kind of get up there, get that damage done, and he drew the whole army up, so he could get into a nice position. Maybe he went a bit too far forward. Maybe he should have gone after the 3rd instead of a direct killing blow.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't fully sieged when the army came back down, and it seems like Deer was, like, obviously kind of F2Aing it, just sending his whole army up there. And so, I don't know. I don't think it was poor play on either side here. I think these guys are good at StarCraft too.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Something tells me these GSL players, they seem to...
They're pretty all right.
They're not bad, We're going to Cyberforce for game 2. Let's go.
Regeneration.
She sounds like a robot. She might live in Cyber Force. You don't know. She might be like a cyber elf.
It might be.
Yeah.
Did you say elf or elk?
Elf.
Oh, okay.
Or she could be a talking cyber elk with a, you know.
사이버 포레스트. 게임 준비 완료.
Thank you. Cyber elf.
아프리카 S2. 킹.
Why is it called S2? S2 is a heart, you know. That's what I text my wife. S2.
Wow, man, that's hot.
Less than 3? No way. That's less than 3 is so trite.
Newbie. Dia.
All about the S2s.
Now with emojis, you can type out all sorts of
Oh
stuff.
no, I don't do emojis. I'm too old for that.
Send that zucchini, man.
Oh, Jesus. I think you mean eggplant, but
Eggplant. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Listen, I'll leave it to the vegetarian to figure out which one of those is which. Okay, so we got the probe coming out here. And this time around, Keen not opting to proxy anything just yet.
Yeah, it looks like it'll just be straight up an expansion, probably off of a Reaper here. So, nothing too crazy this game. Of course, last game, the proxy didn't do too much. I guess, you know, he got that force field out of him. He kind of, you know, the Reapers did a little bit, but it wasn't fantastic.
Okay, so the probe was hidden pretty well. Comes in here for the block. And the CC has had to be placed in a non-ideal location where the probe can now harass it. We should have another, hold on, probe's still gonna try to come in here and delay this as much as possible.
Yeah, the SCV. Some real micro going on here on both sides.
Yeah.
Of course, the Reaper going to be popping out, so you do have to get out of there.
Really makes you appreciate how good the StarCraft 1 probe is since we've been doing ASL here. That was a StarCraft 1 probe. It would have killed the 2 SCVs that came down to try to save it, and then to kill the command center. And
it would turn on this Reaper right about now.
Yeah.
Throws out its own grenades at the Reaper. The Reaper's like, what the hell is this?
Okay, and the Adept coming here, really good juking and jiving there by Deer.
I think he barely missed a shot there when it was switching directions, but all right.
Is he going to catch him?
Whoop. Yeah, he is, I think. Oh, it might heal just out of range of a shot there, yeah.
Yep. Nice save there by Keen.
Good juking and jiving, but look at this Stalker! Oh my god.
Wow.
Well,
we could write a book about this Reaper.
Yeah. He's seen
this is quite a story, yeah.
Now he's going to go attack.
Look, he's going to get a tattoo after this experience. This is.
I like that he's really attempting to put this pressure on. We saw him try to do this last game, but you know, you have to make that tech lab now for Cyclones and all. Had a lot of patches since the last GSL or even BlizzCon, so.
Keen's actually been really good with these Reapers early on.
Yeah, he's doing a good job for sure.
Is it going to get away again?
3 kills on it.
Yeah.
That is like a really good Reaper. Those are the games where I shake my head and my ears get red even if no one's watching.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god.
You're like, how long have I played this game?
Yeah.
This is still happening to me.
How can I lose this many probes?
I hate myself
to the
so
first
much.
unit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be better than this. Why do they let me commentate GSL?
I know. Okay, so we have another command center coming here right away. A very quick CC there.
Yeah,
Tanks coming out as well.
A very similar build coming out of Deer here.
This might actually be even more effective here for Deer. The fact that Deer's going to have the option, well, not even just the option. I think this build is obviously engineered to come in there and actually do damage. You know, whenever you see a third command center being made right away, obviously they've given up resources to try to develop an economy later on instead of have any defense or aggression there.
Well, this is such a technical opening, right? He's going up into the factory, making just a few tech units to, you know, kind of hold on. And the fact that Deer is going to go up there while he's making the third command center, this is like, I think, the perfect thing for Deer's build to hit.
So Terran's going to have to hold off a lot with very little here. Now the Cyclone's position here to possibly take out a Warp Prism, but this may be an attack where he just bulldozes his way through the entrance. The bunker is actually, you know, if he does this right, he can actually snipe. Yeah, he does. He snipes that SCV, beat me to it.
Pretty nice.
Now that, because he retreated, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but a little victory.
Looks like he just wants to go for a bit of harass. You know, this is obviously giving him a bunch of intel right now. He's pretty safe overall at home. The Observer going to come in.
Takes out the hallucinated Phoenix. We're having the barracks and factory rotate and swap add-ons here. And back at home, it seems like Protoss is just continuing to tack up, getting into a superior robo-tech here with a third base.
I really like this play from Deer overall. Like, he's focusing so heavily on robo. He's playing a very steady game. He's not going too crazy with his prism, but he has it, right?
It does.
Just having a prism forces Terran to play a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely. It also, I think it's worth pointing out that game one, Deer won so handedly, despite moments where Keen seemed to be getting an advantage. Deer came back so strong. I think Deer doesn't, how do I say this? Deer wants to just play a more conservative game because there's probably no need to do anything too drastic. So he gets in there and says, okay, I might be able to do some more damage, but it's probably not necessary. And I could probably make Keen over-defend and just go for harass like we're seeing right here.
Yeah, this is super nice. Look at that, just out of siege tank range, just barely. I mean, this is quality usage of APM, if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, and most of those Stalkers just lose shields, so he goes ahead and backs up. We still have that third command center. It's parked next to the main command center. While Deer is enjoying the liberties of having long-distance mining here, and he's going to have that third base finishing in a moment, teching up to Colossus, getting Thermal Lance, getting +1 attack, Zealot Legs.
Yeah, getting kind of everything that he needs right now, and roaming the map pretty aggressively. I like kind of where he has some of his scouting going on, like the Observer up front, and the fact that he's staying active out here, and the fact that he has the War Prism, right? Like, all these things together are letting him have map control right now while having that third base already up and mining.
So he saw he killed the Observer, but the Observer did spot the third base being taken here. So he needs to move down here with his army and actually claim this. I don't know if it's really going to be contested. I think Deer wants to try to put some pressure on. I don't think he wants to commit with this fight, though. Okay, so we force a lift. Now notice how cautious Keen is here. You see those siege tanks sieged up? Whoa. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh man. Somehow that did not go as bad as it could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a right click where the army just split.
He was lucky. It was 2 seconds off Stimpack finishing. He would have gunned down a lot more units there, but...
I was going to say that what Protoss could do is actually rotate slightly down to the left of the command center, because it would force him to get a tank over there, but I think now what Protoss really needs to do is just get back and regroup.
Yeah, he needs to make sure that this attack doesn't do anything. Oh my. Well, I guess Keen is really serious here. You know, Colossus, I feel like he's got such a nice army right here. I know it doesn't have a bunch of upgrades that we're used to, like the Link and whatnot. I guess Charge is going to finish pretty soon, but the Colossus themselves are going to do fantastically.
There's a lot of narrow areas you could throw up force fields and buy time, which might be, really help out. See, like this, there we go. So much for your timing now, buddy.
Yeah, just fantastic. A little bit better targeting with the Colossus could be helpful here as well, hitting the light units. And third Colossus comes out. I believe he's still on 3 gateways. This is like a really cool kind of older style we're seeing out of Deer here.
Yeah, now he's got to be careful. He's starting to run out of any tier 1 units. The Protoss is. They can kind of soak up some of that damage to the Colossi and keep doing all the hard work. Now, this attack is going to be held up. I don't believe this infantry is going to do any kind of impactful, meaningful damage here.
I don't think so. The Marauder's doing a good job of tanking a bunch of the Colossus damage, but with an Immortal left over, this is going to get cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, great control here by Deer. That's it, GG. Okay.
You know, this play we're seeing from Deer, I'm kind of getting chills. It's so cool. It reminds me kind of an older play, right, where you're opening up with your Robo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously got some new twists. He's flying around with a Warp Prism right off the bat and all, but it's kind of a very slow, steady play, like almost a late Wings of Liberty, early Heart of the Swarm PvT approach, right, where he's just kind of building up and saying, all right, the Colossus is my key unit here, so I'll never die.
Right.
And, you know, you can definitely see as well, I love the new change on the tracking for Colossus and how you can micro back like we just saw Deer do there. It's just, it actually really helps a lot.
Yeah, it really changes the whole way that unit can engage with everything. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, the winner's match, Dark versus Deer. Don't go away.
Remember when we all got drunk? I ended up with 2 broke thumbs. Oh my god, I felt so dumb. Lucky me. I wrote a song that no one knows. I played a show and no one showed. Oh my god, I felt so alone. Lucky me. you gonna do? Who you gonna tell? Maybe
100 bad days made 100 good stories. 100 good stories make me interesting at parties.
100 bad days made 100 good stories. 100 good stories make me interesting at parties. Yeah, no, I ain't scared of you. No, I ain't scared of you no more. No, I ain't scared of you. No, I ain't scared of you no more.
Look out, they're closing in on you now. Wake up or you wake up 6 feet down. Nobody's got your back in this town. Knock 'em in the teeth now. Out here, there's no negotiation. No room to start a conversation. Before you get a taste, it's taken. Never let your guard down. Get back, put your hands up, kinda messed up, but it's not fluff, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad for you. Cause I know if you can switch this, you edition of the same shit, say sorry, but I don't feel bad. Now I know there's no one I can trust. I used to think there was. Tell me that I'll cut throats. I think it got your eyes closed. Feel the fear and swallow back the tears. Like weakness disappear. There's nobody but me here. The killer in the mirror. Killer in the killer in the killer in the mirror. Killer in the killer in the killer in the mirror. Where did all of the good people go? They hide behind the bars on windows in hopes they can forget we're close, trying to get some of what they've got. Cause I used to believe in justice, a place where there was better judgment. But now I'm feeling so disgusted by the habits and the have-nots. Get back, put your hands up, kinda messed up, but it's not fluff, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad for you. Cause I know if you can switch this, you edition of the same shit, say sorry, but I don't feel bad. Now I know there's no one I can trust. I used to think there was. Tell me that I'll cut throats.
Climbing up this mountain, climbing up twice, hoping that I make it this time, but I'm so done with hoping. Cause hoping is to failing, is to falling down this mountain, falling down again. Boom, boom, heartbeats still beating. In the end, I'm choking. But that's just what they wanted, so I get up off the ground and I shake it out. Ra ra ra, come look at me now, look at me now. I'm not here to talk, I'm not here to talk. I'm just here to walk the walk. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top. Show them what I made of, show them what I've got. So mark my words before you swallow yours. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top. Show them what I made of, show them what I've got. I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours, just like a pill. Started as a question, ended as a fact. When I found out I'm the only one that has my back, I'm drowning.
안녕하세요. 고속프로 박명우입니다. 언제나 스타트를 응원해주시는 분들, 스타트를 보면서 열광해주시는 분들, 2019년은 더욱더 좋은 일만 가득하시길 빕니다.
안녕하세요. 일단 스타트 게이머 황규석이고요. 네, 새해 밝았는데 다들 이제 하시는 일 다 잘 되길 바랍니다.
새해가 밝았는데 모두 새해 복 많이 받으시고, 저도 이번 시즌 첫 시즌이니까 열심히 해서 좋은 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
새해도 시작되고 GSL도 시작되니까 네, 많은 응원 부탁드리겠습니다.
일단은 첫 시즌을 올라가가지고 일단은 첫 목표는 이뤘고요. 그리고 일단 방송 경기를 할 때 이제 열심히 준비해서 올라가는 게 두 번째 목표고요. 저는 일단 대회가 있으면 떨어지지 않도록 열심히 준비하는 게 제일 중요한 목표이기 때문에
이루고 싶은 거 세 가지. 첫 번째도 성적이고, 두 번째도 성적이고, 세 번째도 성적이죠.
당연히 GSL 우승이고, 그리고 요새 좀 건강이 좀 안 좋아진 것 같아가지고 네, 건강하는 것도 있고, 그리고 건강하고 성적 좋게 살면 일단 GSL 우승이 당연히 첫 번째 목표고, 그리고 그 다음에는 뭐 한 해 제일 큰 블리즈컨 우승 하고 싶고, 그리고 마지막으로 요새 건강이 좀 안 좋아가지고 네, 건강하는 게 목표입니다.
일단 뭐 프로게이머라면 당연히 우승이 들어가 있겠죠. 근데 이건 32명이 다 그렇게 얘기할 것 같아서 한 4억 정도만 벌자. 올라갈 거 다 올라가 있단 말이에요 지금. 그래서 4억 정도만, 욕심내지 않고 4억 정도만 딱 벌자라는 생각을 가지고 있습니다. 면허를 좀 따고 싶은데 요새 차에 좀 관심이 있어가지고 욕심 안 부리고 이제 좀 사치 안 부리고 마세라티 정도만 이제 타고 싶어요.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liquid Tasia!
Mountain Dew GSL Seasonal Regeneration.
Oh, I like this song we opened with.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's going to be Dark versus Deer, a ZVP, to decide who will be the first player to go on to the round of 16 in the first season of the GSL Codes. God, it's good to be back. We missed you.
Yeah, I'm just too happy for words, so I'll shut up now.
I believe that Dark is supposed to win this, but Deer has been looking very strong lately. Both these guys had a great showing against their opponents. Keen and Trust are definitely the betas of this group so far, but we'll see if they will certainly have a chance to redeem themselves later on when we find out who's going to be the winner of the losers match. But for now, it's going to be Dark versus Deer in this best of 3.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that Dark is, well, I mean, we're always predicting Dark to do super well. It
so
feels
is he.
like he's always, yeah, no, that's very true. Seems like he is always a guy who can win a GSL, even though he has never done so. He's like probably the best player that has not.
Yeah.
Right? Him and like SOS are kind of the guys that you look at and you're like, you two haven't won GSL.
I think the SOS not winning still probably raises some more eyebrows, but
yeah.
Let's see what happens here. Again, tons of new maps we're going to be using here today.
Oh, yeah. Very excited about that. I'm liking the new maps so far. Definitely a lot of flavor, and it doesn't feel like a bunch of the same
Well,
map
this is
over
what
and
makes
over.
RTS is so sick, is we can change the maps, and suddenly we have totally different games.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, I just want to see who's going to win, Tasteless. I want to see them play the game.
Well, you're going to get what you want, Artosis. Game 1's loaded up. Let's do this.
GSL 시즌1 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 오토메이션 게임 준비 완료. Ghost Crew Dark.
This voice actress is the original voice actress is in StarCraft 2. For I don't know who. They didn't tell me. I forgot to ask that question. I'm like, I think it's Jim Raynor. I'm not sure.
Could be.
Could be. There's no way to tell for sure.
I think it might be the cord head lady from the command center,
Could
but
be.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, cord head lady.
So.
Does she have a name, cord head lady?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is though.
You would have thought they would at least put some hair on cord head lady. You know, if we're gonna have a human face.
She had, well, I mean, there's cords coming out of her head, so I mean that would look really gross and patchy, I think, right? Like,
not if you have a nice wig on it.
Over the cords?
Yeah.
Then you can't even tell that there's cords coming out. It like defeats the whole purpose of this.
Well, you could just zoom out a little bit more and see where the cords are plugged in.
Tasteless, it's a little tiny thing on the UI. Like, it's a tiny little box that you see the cord lady in. You want it to be zoomed out and for her to have a wig on. So they're like, cords going into
what
her
I would
hair?
prefer is to have cord head lady fill up the entire screen when I'm playing, and then on her box is the game going on. That's what I want.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there would be. You'd have
I
to
keep
attack
emailing
her.
Blizzard to do that in the next patch. They're not responding. I don't know
You
what's
should have
going
the
on.
option.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You should have the option. Maybe someone should do that with their stream.
If you just moved around the different boxes and had different things, you know.
I could play with
the
the full
mini map
screen
fills it
mini
up,
map,
and
yeah.
the cord head ladies and where the.
Well, imagine
mini,
that. It's
yeah.
just the cord head lady is the main screen.
Every unit you click on becomes the main screen as the game is played. In the mini map or in that little box.
So you accidentally click on one of your opponent's mutilates. You're like, whoa! Oh my God!
Oh my God! Here's my ass.
Oh.
By the way, guys, we are very excited to be sponsored by Mountain Dew here. Definitely send them some love.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Do you want to be extreme, guys?
You better believe it.
GSL and Mountain Dew have a partnership.
That's right. So is there actually a mountain named Dew? Is it like Mount Dew, or is it a
no? It's
so
like
much dew that there's mountains of it?
No. It's like it's so delicious. It's like the dew from a mountain.
Got it.
You know, like dew.
Yes, Artosis.
Okay. I don't know if you know it, Tasteless. There's a lot of random weird stuff that you don't know. Someone didn't teach you something in school. I don't know. No one talked to you as a child or something.
They misspelled dew, Artosis. It's D-O. So we got the Adept shading in to do scouting and to keep the Zerg in check.
A little bit more standard this game. Now, he did show a Stalker right off the bat, and when you show a Stalker like that, a lot of times that means that it is, in fact, not Stargate play. So this may have caught Dark off guard. I think this was a great idea. I don't know if Deer came in deciding this or looked at the first series and was like, oh, he's already primed to not have spores. Either way, do you see spores?
It worked.
I don't see them.
So just to further clarify what Artosis was talking about, because you don't normally get that Stalker, it's a less efficient way to get the Stargate out, but at the same time, because they're not expecting it, they will end up not having that anti-air. But, Ooh, very important to not lose that. So
Yeah, he got 3 on the first pass. I do feel like there was a slight bit of miss micro there, and he could have got 4 on the first pass and lived, but a little bit greedy going back in, unfortunately. Now from here, it should be Archon drop. Yeah, there it is. Tempo Archives on the way now. But yeah, I like the kind of mind game, especially based off that first series where Trust every game did skip the Stargate. Oh, look at this!
Oh, this is sick.
Oh.
Okay, he can one-shot these drones like this, as long as he has those shots synced up. And that's pretty nice. 3 kills.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's going to get one of these away. Let's see, he's actually rotated it actually pretty nicely.
Well, he gets another drone.
Not bad.
Right.
I mean, still having the one at depth to be able to try to control the Zerg's movement is not bad at all.
You got reasonable compensation for it.
And here comes the third base. He's getting it out right away. And the War Prism coming in here. This may keep Zerg pinned even further.
He's looking very tight right now. I like this. Of course, Dark just kind of getting into Roaches, getting that Roach speed. He's going to have to defend against this Archon drop coming up, which will kind of cover that third base that you were talking about. We don't really have any units out on the map for Dark right now to try to prevent that from occurring. Oh, only 16 workers there. Alpha Star would not be happy with these saturations.
I was so cool watching Alpha Star play.
Yeah, it was.
I'm so excited to see that develop further. That's the big AI Google's been working on. That's been mastering StarCraft.
Oh! Ooh! All right, so not the most effective first wave of the Archon drop, but more will come, no doubt.
So we've got some more Roaches coming out here. And it looks like it's going to be a 4th expand coming up here now.
By the way, I really like this map out of the new pool, because those rocks right there, I think that is such a cool idea. You know, the proper expansion is on the left, but you can actually just kill those rocks and mine from that with your Nexus or Hatchery or Command Center that's on the other side of it that has a regular base. And now that I always overmake probes thanks to Alpha Star, I always have enough probes to mine those gold minerals. It's not a problem.
It's making humans really second-guess themselves here. Okay, the Archons are going to come in here and try to bully back these Queens. He does ideally want to go for the drones, though. One Archon pretty low on shields.
Yeah, this was very good micro, though. Both sides.
By the way, we had a huge gateway explosion finish up here, so there's going to be a lot of production coming out here from Deer. We may have some pressure on this 4th base. 4th base on this map is very easy to pressure. There's no easy 4th base for the Zerg to take on this map. So you really have to fortify that.
Yeah, definitely a few different routes to get up there. Now, Hydralisk production massively on the way. Look at that, 17 Hydras being produced. It's going to have quite a big army as this is moving across. This attack should not be able to do anything when the Hydras are actually out. Yeah, like maybe a force field wall can help him to pick off this hatch with those Immortals, but I'm not certain.
Okay, here we come. Some Ravagers on the way here. Can he try to target down the hatch? If he can maybe go just fast enough. He actually wants to try to dive through here and divide the units as they're going to be regrouping.
Kind of some swift micro coming out. All right. Good force fields right there. Does bust them out.
One Immortal firing at this hatchery down here. He really would be helpful if he brought that up. And I think that the way that Deer wedged himself in between all these bases is actually going to possibly allow him to win this entire fight.
I guess that this was a very swiftly executed, very well done attack. I actually did not think he was going to just rail through that many units.
No, I'm in the same spot as you were, Toast. I thought he was going to have to push more gradually, but he definitely had the muscle to really come in there and do a lot of damage. There's no more force fields available, I believe. But at this point in time, it seems like there might be enough muscle here that he can start to win these fights.
And he killed the 4th hatch, which is just a gigantic thing. So even when this does get cleaned up, which it will get cleaned up, you know, it's not like Dark has that 4th base to recover with as easily.
Okay.
Wow.
I do think it actually would have been wiser for Dark to, for Deer to back up a little bit after he was out of force fields. I think once he wasn't able to really control the position of the army anymore, Dark did have enough to kind of come out and do that damage. But the big story really is that the 4th hatchery, the 4th base, I should say, it was destroyed.
Yeah. Well, he got 26 drones too, but I mean, Dark is re-droning reasonably quickly here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, obviously, that was a good attack, but with losing the Prism, losing all your Sentries, Archons, and Immortals, it's going to take him a little bit to get that sophistication back up. Now, we did see that drops are done. There is a set of Hydras within an Overlord that we saw sent out onto the map. I believe he's just going to drop the mineral line, maybe at the 3rd base with that.
Okay. Overseer coming in here, getting a glimpse. of what Deer's up to. Deer's production looking very fine. It's definitely been dark.
Oh, okay. He was going to make an Archon anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
It's now feedback at half damage, and it had that little mana. I'm like, what are we doing
Look
here?
at how good I am!
Is that worth a click?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's not worth a click, but all right.
Okay. You have an Overlord coming out here with drop. Nicely spotted there. Although Deer is still headed northbound. Going to go in here and try to deny that 4th hatchery. Protoss could stay on 3 bases and just keep killing the Zerg's 4th base, and Protoss is going to be ahead every time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, are we going to have any reaction here? All right, there we go.
Yeah, he just warped in those Hydras, or those Zealots, rather, so it's kind of nice. Does force a cancel on that 4th base.
This is getting worse and worse here for Deer. Dark has no hidden bases, by the way. I don't believe that Deer's been scouting that thoroughly for it, but every time that Dark has to remake that hatchery, it's getting worse and worse for him. Now, this Hydra drop is not exactly like a thing, but it's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, I like
it. It's something to try to keep the Protoss from having too much momentum. Wow,
Ooh.
all those vials hitting that Immortal like perfectly.
Very nice vials indeed. Wow, those force fields are pretty good. He does go ahead and vial one of the force fields. Is able to micro back because of that. And, I mean, he's got a pretty solid group of units here, but look at this. Another set of warp-ins from Deer pushing forward.
Yeah, these vials now having to be used defensively, but, I mean, Zerg is almost pushed into a corner here. I love the whole position temporarily set up so some more warp-ins can come in. And this means these drones are going to go down. And I got to say, this is a really impressive showing here from Deer. Deer is actually making this look quite easy.
Yeah, he's playing fantastically here, no doubt.
Keep in mind, even though if the Zerg holds this off, I mean, how many drones are being killed and that 4th base being destroyed? I mean, it's so huge.
Yeah.
A few more Archon shots on those Hydras, and this is over.
And while there's not like additional tech at home for Deer and no 4th base or anything, it doesn't really matter. He's done so much damage twice now. That was just beautifully executed. The first attack did much better. I thought it was going to be one of these poke-ups that like you shave off a few units, maybe you get the hatch, but the 26 drones on top of that, fantastic.
Okay, so Deer takes game 1. I have to say I'm really impressed with Deer. Deer is actually making this look quite easy. That looked like a mismatch on ladder, where it's like, oh, well, watch. Protoss will just control this game perfectly, and Zerg's never going to get another base up.
Yeah. Because so far tonight, Deer's looked fantastic. He's looking in absolute peak form right now.
Yeah.
And I tell you, if I'm Trust, I am sitting there thinking, oh, please do not be Dark here. You know? I think he has a much better shot in a PvP against Deer than a PvZ again against Dark. But
let's not forget, guys, Dark said his goal was to get all that money and buy that car. I don't know cars that well. I can't remember what kind of car
I've heard of a Maserati. It's like a really expensive car.
It's Italian, right?
Probably.
Say Maserati in an Italian accent.
Maserati.
Maserati. Mamma mia. The thing is, you can't get that car if you don't win GSL, Dark.
No.
And guess what, Deer? He doesn't even want a car.
No. Why would he get a car when he has a warp prism, Tasteless?
That's right.
Cars can't pick you up at range.
Yeah.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 이어 제로 게임 준비 완료. Ghost Crew Dark.
Right. Year 0. Oh.
Dia.
That took so long. I thought we had already done both of them.
It's been a while since we've worked out of the studio.
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's a great map name. I believe Avex made this one. But anyways, kind of an interesting map as well. Lots of different destructible rocks in there.
Some Mountain Dew support. Woo! Tore through it. That was sick.
Oh my God. Just chugging that.
Chugging that. Excellent.
Do the do,
Do the do, man! Wow! Wow! I think
now we just need
have
some
free Mountain
BMX
Dew down
riders
here, right?
going
We're giving
up
away
and down
free Mountain Dew, right?
I don't know, Tasteless. I don't think you should promise things that you can't back up.
Guys, free Mountain Dew for everybody. I know that we can at least get some free Mountain Dew.
Well, there's some Mountain Dews on our table thing right now if you want to drink one, Tasteless.
Yeah,
They're part of the prop, but you can definitely drink one.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get this caught on the mic. You ready?
Yeah.
Was that audible?
Oh my god, I just want to drink a Mountain Dew so badly right now.
Smelling it. Smells good.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Drink it.
It's bubbly.
Yeah.
It's bubbly.
Is it as good as I remember?
It's better.
Yeah.
You've remembered it wrong all along.
Oh my god. What a fool I am.
Yeah.
Now you got to be careful. You don't want to go over that gravity well with your Overlord or you lose it. And now those are locusts, so you don't want to go over there with anything biological because they'll eat it. Wouldn't that be fun if we
You're
had
talking about those fans on some of the maps, they just suck the Overlord into it.
It's like your Oracle starts getting sucked in, so you use Graviton Beam to pull it back out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a little mini game on the
whole map is just a Dark Souls level, trying to get your units across.
All right.
Twilight Council.
And he opens with a Stalker again. So that first game kind of shields this game a little bit, right? Because Adept.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh my god.
Shit,
It's
look
Cthulhu.
At that. Whoa.
But the fact that
I'm glad we got the shot of that. Go ahead, sorry.
It's good. Hey, the fact that he made the Stalker first last game and then an Oracle flew in, he's going to make the Stalker here. Now, does Dark go ahead and make Spores? We'll see, but he's kind of prime Dark with these two openings in this order.
I want to go back to that giant on the map.
Yeah. It's a little bit scary. I don't want to go back.
I wasn't ready for that.
What's down there?
I don't know. We only saw his head, too. He might be huge.
Well, he's obviously
Can you imagine
huge
if you had that as a unit? You just like right-click him over the guy's base. He can't even click on his stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be weird.
Imagine how much supply that costs. It's probably 500.
Well, you can't even get that much supply. It would have to be
my
like,
point, Artosis.
but you need some miners to get it. Let's call him a 190 supply unit.
Okay.
But how big is his body, truly? Maybe he's got a little tiny body. He's like one of those Funko Pop things.
Yeah, or maybe he's just got a head, little tentacles coming out of the back.
Oh yeah,
He's
maybe
a
he's just
flying
like a
head
true
guy.
squid thing.
He's like every bullet hell game on Nintendo. There was always like a flying head guy coming at you. You're like, all right, I've never seen one of those, but okay.
When he opens his mouth, bring your phoenixes over there. All right, so this is once again the Dark Shrine Archon drop.
Okay, the Adepts are shading forward now, trying to get an idea how much defense right now the Zerg has. And he's going to rotate over here with these Adepts. Looks like Dark's already mapped out the movement of these Adepts. He's pretty much ready.
The layer very, very well timed, so he should be able to get up an Overseer and not take too substantial damage if DTs are the first point of attack from Deer. Wow, nice.
that actually was really good control, by the way, there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here comes that warp in.
Okay,
it is 4 DTs going right for this Queen. The Queen on the run now. He's going to instead switch, go over here to the hatchery, taking out a few drones, and Overseer is on the way. Almost out. And from here, he should have to back off.
Dark not a fan of spores or anything like that. Just been running nonstop.
You really can't afford to lose any of those DTs here, so he's going to come back out now. Lots of roaches and links here for Dark. The Archons are going to be morphing at the same time, although it doesn't appear that Zerg is going to be able to find that, thwart that in any way. That can happen sometimes if you're not ready. You get caught morphing that.
Well, he finally does get a spore up somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where he put it, but it's kind of funny watching the way overall Dark is playing today, where everything that comes in, he just kind of runs from it for a minute and gets his stuff into position. I feel like I'm watching World War Z with Brad Pitt, you know?
Yeah.
Just running from everything.
It's, oh, hold on. It's actually a pretty nice angle for an Archon drop, by the way.
Yeah, look at that.
It's kind of hard for Zerg to optimize.
Trying to kill
any
that with Zerglings in there.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Imagine putting those Archons in there and like, then Banelings are trying to kill him.
Oh, yeah, that's the dream right there.
The dirtiest.
Okay, so he's gone back out. From at this point, he could try to control creep progress. The Observer comes in. Doesn't seem like there's anything here for Zerg to deny this, although Deer is playing pretty cautiously. Meanwhile, we have Roaches that they went south and they're rotating around. And it looks like, once again, Dark's going to get a little bit more aggressive on trying to expand and push creep out.
I like how careful he's being with the Archon drop. Archon drops are not actually supposed to get that much damage done. You're kind of keeping your opponent at home. You're getting continual scouting intel. You are getting a little bit of damage done, a little bit of creep pushback. But keeping it alive is important. Keeping your immortal production at home is important. And we're going to see a big difference between this attack, which killed Trust while Dark was also going mutas, and then this attack that's coming up, and Deer didn't mess anything up, so like he's just gonna hold. There's no way that this is gonna.
Well, Deer is playing way smoother, and again, this is also showing what a good player Dark is. Dark does not just go for it. Everybody who's played StarCraft just had that moment. You're like, I don't think this is gonna work, but I'm gonna do it anyways. You attack it and lose everything, and then
like,
you leave without typing GG.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Attack coming across here. And this is going to be pretty scary. I mean, there's enough Immortals with 2 more Archons out here.
Look, 35 Roaches against this army with only 3 Ravagers. Like,
yeah. Now these angles are pretty tiny. I mean, Roaches, it's kind of hard to really utilize Roaches in these really narrow corridors.
Yeah. Dark trying to utilize that against him as well. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of damage output right there. Some good vials go down, so he just get the back up. Picking off a lot of these Zealots, but that main core of the army is still there for Deer.
Okay, he's continuing to push forward. Yeah, all the important units here in the back. The Archons and Immortals are still out. They're still doing damage, but Dark is going to dive forward here, and after doing so, rotates a little bit over to the higher part of the ramp. The Zealots are going to come in, once again being that kind of meat shield here, although most of them are chasing that Queen.
Yeah, I think you should not be walking up this ramp. Just back up a little bit and let your Zealots wreck the other base. Now, 20 probes have died during this.
He's using the ramp as a bottleneck here. Now, even though these probes are being killed and this is not going to slow down, there's still a lot of damage being dealt here by Deer. I'm getting a little bit worried.
Well, we don't see drones dying yet. We should now that drones are being pulled out, but the fact that he's killed 27 probes puts a lot of pressure on Deer to continue this attack. He's not going to be able to win unless he does a lot more than what he's done. Like, overall, the engagement was good, but no defense.
This is kind of crazy, guys. I mean, as long as you can keep juggling these Immortals and Archons, there's still a shot. Oh. We've had 40 killed probes, by the way. Deer is down to 7 workers.
Look at this juggling. Oh my God.
All that Dark has to do is stay alive, though. These Immortals slowly kiting back. I think Dark just won this game. GG.
All right, that was really interesting because overall that attack, if he hadn't lost so many probes to the few Roach counterattack of Dark, he would have. I mean, that was a great attack, right? He ended up getting a lot of damage done. He had to push harder than maybe he wanted to at the end because he knew he was dead. But again, if that counterattack had not occurred by Dark, that is going to not only kill a ton of units of Dark, but easily the 3rd base.
That was a nail biter there. It's funny because I think Deer actually had a much better shot, but he just never dealt with those Roaches back at home. I mean, nothing ever happened. I'm curious if Deer didn't notice in time and then thought, okay, I gotta just go all in here. But yeah, Dark really handled that very well, considering how strong of a push that was. And I think Deer's going to be a little bit shaken. I think, in fact, Deer might have be on requested a break. Oh, it was Dark. Because watch this.
Maybe.
That was Dark that just went by me.
You know what I wish? Now that we have like this desk down here and we're not in seats or anything. We're just standing. I want a cordless mic. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, and I want a unicycle we can ride around on. Okay, and cast like crazy people.
Well, if I had a cordless mic here, I feel like I could be like one of those self-help gurus. I could like run around, be like, yeah, oh my god, run up to the screen. I'm like pointing at the supplies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like high-fiving everyone while I run down.
Exactly. You're like getting behind the players and going like that.
Like, oh my god, I'm like Shepcast right into his ear and stuff.
Yeah.
He's so annoyed.
And right when the guy's about to lose, you run up with your arms out like this, go GG in his face. Yeah.
Like,
we'll have to talk
while they're playing. I'm like, those are DTs. I like touch his monitor. I'm like, right there.
Yeah.
They're coming.
It's shaking because you're hitting it so hard.
Yeah. If you lose all your workers, you lose the game. Hold on, I can do this. I like hit a force field for him on the thing. He gets angry at me. I just run away.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, this is cool that we're down here in the audience now. It definitely has a different feel to it. I feel more connected. Normally we're up there in the little balcony. You guys can't see it, but what you've seen before is we're on floor 2. That's also fun to do.
Someone's sitting in your seat right now.
Hey, get out! Who's that guy?
That's my seat.
So Dark requested a break. I'm assuming he just had to run to the restroom, but he'll be back soon.
There he goes, right behind us.
I'm so good.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Damn, tasteless.
And so he'll be going back over there.
It's almost as if you've been doing this show for 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So he's going to be going back over there. Right now, it is Dark down 1, or I'm sorry, up 1 game. Deer was looking strong, but when that attack came in, he wasn't able to multitask quite as well. He did not manage to keep his probes alive, and it spiraled out of control pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty all in at that point with that counterattack. He didn't have a lot of probes at the third anyways, but I believe it was 5 roaches total. I think he had 2 at the third and 3 that snuck into the natural.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you're not going to be able to deal with that, then you're not going to have any probes left.
Okay. What year is it, Artosis?
2019.
It's 0.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where we're going.
Well, no, we're going to King's Cove. We were just on year 0.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, no problem.
I was just testing you. I just really wanted to make the joke, and I really didn't quite pay attention to the graphic, and I'm sorry, guys, I gotta mess that up. Our game is loaded up. This is Dark versus Deer. 1-1, let's go.
마운틴듀 GSL 시즌1 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 킹스 코브 게임 준비 완료.
A cove for a king.
Ghost Crew Dark.
Kind of an interesting map name. Cove, of course, a natural phenomenon. I guess the king has decided this is his cove.
That's right.
And he can do that. He's the king.
He is the king. He can do whatever he wants. It's in his bloodline, Artosis.
Yeah.
By the way, Game of Thrones is going to come out soon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
What are you? Oh, is it? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
You didn't know that?
No, why would I know that?
That's what I center my entire life around.
Yeah.
When Game of Thrones is going to come out.
Okay, people like you just tell me.
From Chile, thank you for coming down, guys.
Love StarCraft. So does she. It's a great game.
We also have another Mountain Dew sign in the upper right of our screen there. Are you excited for Game of Thrones, Artosis?
Yeah.
It's going to come out.
Yeah, I am excited.
The story's going to end.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for the Night King myself, man. I'm hoping all those humans just lose out.
Well, I mean, you got to make way for the next generation eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that would be a fun twist on the plot.
That'd be a good.
Sure.
And yeah, it's like none of this stuff actually mattered.
Yeah.
Were you guys not paying attention? The White Walkers.
Like,
were coming
wow,
all
you
along.
guys did put up a good last fight.
Yeah.
Go humans. You guys
Yeah.
did great. But here's the thing. I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about zombies.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you don't think about zombies at least once a week, like what? But how do people know, right? Like, humanity always fights zombies, and then everyone's getting turned into zombies and stuff, right? How do you actually know that when you become a zombie, maybe you become a lot happier? Maybe this is actually how it's supposed to be?
I've had the same thought. Is
Right?
maybe it's
Like, maybe it's
actually
super cool
better.
to be like a frost warrior, right?
It's got to be
That'd
awesome.
be really neat.
Yeah. No, it's probably great. But the zombies seem to never fight with each other. Have you ever seen zombies quarreling?
Yeah, no, it's actually
Yeah.
peaceful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll argue over the brains and stuff, right? But
maybe.
Like, that might actually be like a good existence. You might become a zombie, and like you're really hungry and stuff. So you seem like an animal of some sort. But
yeah,
maybe
Can you imagine
at
if
night when no one's around and you're not being teased by human meat? You're just sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, this is pretty awesome.
Can you imagine if you were motivated as a zombie about anything as a zombie is about brains?
Oh, I know.
I mean, can you?
They work hard.
That's some passion, right there.
That is. That's how you make it in this world. Have that zombie
The
does.
same kind of motivation as a fast-moving zombie, not a slow-moving one.
Well,
one of those scary ones that moves really fast.
Well, you know what? To be honest, Tasteless, a lot of people look at motivational things and like inspirational things. Like the Rocky montage is probably like the most famous thing, where it's like it condenses months of hard work into a huge game, right?
Yes.
With some catchy music. Thing is, this is what I like about slow zombies, right?
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race, my friend. The tortoise and the hare, okay? You don't know how often you're getting human brains. Why are you running?
Yeah, you could be burning a lot of calories.
Yeah,
that's true.
Not just that, we don't know how they really react to temperatures, too.
We don't even really know how they manage to keep energy, because they can stay alive for a long time too.
It matters which universe we're in for these zombies.
That's true. Many different rules. It's like vampires. All these different rules depending.
Yeah.
So he's going to start to take out this Overlord over here.
Oh,
We've got
a
the
StarCraft
Robo.
game.
Yeah, what game are we casting here? Robo is on the way, as well as the Twilight Council. So far, so good here. Let's remember the way that Deer lost. I don't know why. When I have two names like this, I tend to swap them a lot.
Yeah, well, three of the letters are the same.
Yeah, it's
just call the Zerg K and the Protoss E.
So, keep in mind the way that Deer lost that last game. He looked really solid. His build was really clean. But when it came to the actual fighting and there was too much going on, Deer was not on point and Dark was. I mean, I think we could say that Dark has been historically a little bit more impressive than, let's say, Deer has been, although Deer has absolutely had his moments, right? But this time around, I'm curious to see if we have another engagement where suddenly both players are doing a lot of juggling on all sides. How exactly is Deer going to fare? Because Dark is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Oop, here we go. He could have. Okay. Almost could have gotten up there and gotten the denial here.
Yeah, nice little harassment right there. Of course, the Archon drop will be coming in momentarily, but if he has to cancel that Nexus, that is a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, when you see those pylons set up like that with a little slot in the middle, a lot of times you can put a depths in there and they can hold off way more, but the fact that those links were so well timed, they were actually almost timed out where they could have gotten that probe before it made the Nexus. Meanwhile, here we do have an Archon harass that's going to start up. Bear in mind, this is different from when we see DTs come out here and then turn into Archons. So
the DT one is quicker,
yes,
and then this one is better for a long-term game because you open with a Stargate. A lot of the principles are similar, but the other one almost always follows up with a timing push because you are missing some key pieces like Stargate and High Templar tech. So this one much more likely to kind of transition into a normal game where it's like a Mortal, Psystorm Charge, Archon. And right now, Dark sitting here on 56 workers making Hydras, getting his Baneling Nest.
And we've seen a lot of timings where you get a lot of Hydras and Banes, and sometimes you smash through the third. There's several different versions of that timing attack as well. By the way, Deer's done a great job of just holding off every little harass that's coming up here. Dark is super good at being active on the map. Now, when these Hydras are out here, that's where it becomes a lot more difficult for the Warp Prism Archons to actually engage, because the Hydras will just win the fight. And if you lose the Warp Prism, things are going very, very poorly.
Yeah, it's so true. But he's done a great job of clearing some creeps, so that's nice. Now, as far as this game goes, I think that this will become a much larger economy game because on King's Cove, all your bases are up ramps. So it's not really the best map to try that timing that you were talking about where it's like Baneling Hydra trying to go kill your opponent.
Yeah.
If you have for instance, flat ground around a third base, it's more wide open, definitely you can, but look at that ramp. Do you want to go up these ramps?
Not really.
They're so small. I mean, yeah, you can open them up a little bit more, but this is not the place that you want to fight. I think this is a game where, as Dark, you're going to be going into a fourth base, you're going to be going towards high tech and things like that. And look at that, he actually cancels all of those defensive structures.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. I like it, though.
So we're waiting for that fourth base here from the Zerg. Spire is on the way. We're getting a lot of Hydras out here. Baneling upgrades coming here as well. And that's being taken now. I don't know if Deer's going to try to do some kind of a timing attack. He's definitely getting enough Immortals and Archons. And with these additional gateways about to finish, there is going to be the opportunity here for Deer to try to assert himself here on the map. And Dark is going to be very aware of that. Similar to some of the other games we've already seen today in this matchup, one way that Protoss can try to operate is to simply deny the fourth base over and over. Not even just as a theme in the game, like the lore in general, where Zerg are supposed to be taking everything and kind of they're too big and scary. The way that it actually operates economically, Zerg has to have more bases than the Protoss does.
Yeah, certainly.
The game goes on long enough.
But you got to be careful too. You got to balance it a little bit because if you're consistently just trying to deny bases, you never end up taking an additional one. You mine out pretty quickly in Legacy of the Void, so that can be an issue. Now, 7 mutas on the way. I always like mutas being made in this matchup, but the fact that Deer is sitting back in a defensive stance, look, he's taking his fourth base. He's just continuing to tech up. He does have a Stargate. These mutas, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to get done.
It's kind of an interesting investment to take, right? Because it's a lot of gas. I'm sorry, are there cannons in the natural or the main? I don't think we've actually gotten a shot of that. But
I'm not certain where he has them. I'm sure he has probably 1 or 2 somewhere.
Okay, so there's one there.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple lone cannons. It's not perfect, but it'll buy him some time.
Yeah, it sort of acts as a deterrent here. Now, as this is happening, hold on. Here come the Banelings.
Where's the Storms?
So it seems like part of the mutas being used there was to draw the screen of Deer away. And then as that happened, these Hydras and Banes got some pretty good hits. Now, that actual trap not stunning as much as I thought was going to be hit here. Now keep in mind, the Immortals actually don't fare well against the Hydras, and they've somehow been shifted or shuffled into the front, and I don't know if actually this location can be held here. Keep in mind, the Archon, the last of it is gone.
Definitely
There's not a ton of anti-air here.
Not a great start to the engagement, and I think that is really biting Deer in the butt right now, but he's making more units, bringing him down. Does he end up holding here? I think he will, but he's lost quite a few High Templars. I feel like whoa. Ooh, yeah, that's quite a few probes going down.
Keep in mind, Dark only really needs to have a big win on one of these fronts, so even though the 4th base stays alive, the fact these Mutos killed off all those probes is pretty huge. And here we go, Dark has enough gas, he can rinse and repeat. 17 more Banelings on the way.
The more Stalkers that you force your opponent to make, the better your ground army becomes. Stalkers are not really that great fighting against Zerg these days.
What you're saying is so smart and so right, Artosis. Yeah. Because, Stalkers, sure, they're sort of the organic counter to Mutas, but that is not good against Hydra Bane.
No, not at all.
And the real threat here is the Hydra Bane. The Hydra Bane is what is going to actually knock Deer out of this game if he's not prepared. Now, we need some good size storms here on these Hydras. The Banelings are actually connecting with the Archons and Immortals, which is pretty damn good.
Not the best, but he needs a couple side storms. He gets one down, that's pretty reasonable, but he needs more than that.
Sorry, am I not?
There we go.
Okay, I feel like we should have had some more storms come out here more quickly because these storms are all coming out after the army is basically dead.
This is getting a little bit rough right now. The Banelings are gone. Okay, there's a very money storm. And it seems like he should be able to hold on against this aggression once again. But what we see happening here, right, is a continual remake of the same sets of units from Dark that then attack in. And we see all of the kind of long-term units, the cost-efficient units of Deer being whittled down. How many High Templars has he lost so far this game? Quite a few.
He's lost a lot, and keep in mind, this type of Protoss army is more complex and difficult to obtain, whereas Zerg just makes everything out of the hatchery. Lings, Hydras, do a gas dump on Banelings, and then attack it. Now, that being said, Zerg cannot do this endlessly. You are spending so much gas on Banelings that you're kind of stifling tech development here.
Yeah, you are.
So you're in this weird period of the game where you have some opportunities, but Protoss may outgrow and out-tech you in the long run. So you really need. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Artos.
Yeah, I was just kind of agree with you here, but you know, the fact that he has forced the composition to become weaker for Deer. Deer has had to make a bunch of Stalkers. We see his Archon count now is quite low. He would have built up a few more than that. He's lost a lot of High Templars. You're kind of forcing his gas into certain situations too. So as Zerg, you can keep attacking like this if it's denying things like the 5th base, if you're killing High Templars.
Hold up. Good reaction here by Deer. That could have been huge.
Good reaction by Dark as well.
Yeah.
And he has +2 melee, so these are unbelievably deadly against probes.
Okay, good denial there. Not surprising, we have another attack coming in over here. Is he going to try to snipe the Nexus? Or is he going to go for an actual fight?
Those Banelings! Oh, they get a few High Templars.
Okay, he's continuing to push forward. Here we go! Nice! Takes out 13 probes there. And denies the 5th.
Yeah.
And then Dark, look at this, he just escapes. Once he's done the damage, he backs up and remaxes, continuing to dump all that gas into more Banes.
Well, now it's kind of interesting to see Dark going into Lurkers. So it's just a small step up the tech tree instead of going into Broodlords, which is oftentimes the endgame tech. But to be fair, Deer is kind of ready if Broodlords are the next thing, right? He's got his Fleet Beacon. I believe he has 2 Stargates right now, so he definitely could transition into those Tempests to really counter them. But I like how Dark is growing. Like, not too quickly, but he's on 5 bases. He's taking the 6th. He's keeping this pressure on.
Okay, those storms are about as good as you can ask for. However, there's so many Hydras here, and I don't really see anything else.
The shield batteries are being as heroic as they possibly can be. So you might hold it for this moment, but...
Oh, no!
Yeah, Dark is just playing a beautiful...
Frankly, that's all that Protoss is looking for here. This Baneling's like, I don't want to die yet.
He's looking for the best hit he can get.
Okay. So we're at 54 workers to 83 drones. We have a ton of lurkers on the way. The mothership's going to come out, but I don't know if it's going to be cloaking enough. You know what I mean?
Cloaking enough.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's not that much here.
Yeah.
I mean, Protoss has just one big scary army, but there's nothing that forces Zerg to directly engage that. You know, you can always kind of play around this. And we're seeing that right here as these lings are running through. I mean, I think they could even go to the natural.
Oh, no. Oh, this is getting really bad now, yeah. You know,
oh my God, but look at this. The Lurkers now have gained a really good premium position here where they can basically tear down this fourth base.
Ooh. Dark has just played a beautiful Lingbane Hydra game here, I want to say.
Look at this. Is he going to keep pushing? Is he going to ninja vanish?
Well, I mean, so you can't attack through there into those lurkers. That's not what you want to do. Okay, he does force him back. Tempest kind of do put a bit of a clock there, but he's sitting on almost no bases at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that Deer would have to push all the way across the map and kill the Zerg, and it seems like economically the Zerg is so strong right now, and even if it's going to take several blows to kill off this army, that should be enough.
Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like this game, oh man, Dark is just playing magnificently for sure, but I feel like a big part of this game was just that opening engagement where the Mutas hit, and then it seemed like Deer wasn't looking at his army the second the Lingbane Hydra attacked in. And you need that first engagement to go as well as possible. And Dark just hasn't let up all game.
Okay, it's just getting worse. We're slowly watching Deer fall apart.
He's just going to attack one time. His army is super, super scary, but it has to be so efficient that it, yeah, oh my God, look at that. I guess we're going to see if that time warp is good enough, guys.
Okay, 29 more workers killed. That means that Deer is down to 20.
Is he actually not going to attack? I feel like he just has to attack.
Well, there's nothing else that he can do. He's like, I got to go back and make more probes.
Yeah, that's never going to work. You have to go kill him. And I don't think that's going to work either. I think nothing works.
Okay. This is a long shot. And notice that he's going to be relying, Dark is going to be relying on Lurkers. Okay, somehow there was no defense there, and Deer is suddenly at the natural.
Yeah, that was good.
Giving him access to the main, which I believe is where the majority of the tech is in this game. And he can also get on the high ground here. Okay, now this is becoming very interesting.
Yeah, like Dark actually did a counterattack.
This is actually a little bit shocking, though. The Lurkers were misplaced. He just left this.
Well, he thought he was going to attack the main place, and Deer's like, no, I'm gonna go around here.
It's like he locked all the windows and the porch door, but the front door was actually open. So he's able to navigate through here. Yeah. And this is actually getting really interesting.
I think part of the problem here, though, is every probe is up there.
All the rest of the probes are in the main building
base.
Is up there, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless we have a hidden building.
So he
should
can just
actually send
eliminate
those
the buildings
back
very quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like there's more play with Dark here. He can get buildings out on the map. He has some Vipers now that might be able to get some great ducks.
But this is kind of an insane base race we're seeing, base trade. Now, Deer is, I think, starting to realize, okay, he doesn't actually have any good structures. There is one building in the third. Oh, no, it's a pylon, but I think it might be being hit by something. Yeah, I believe there's a damage animation on the mini-map here.
He can't kill him quick enough.
Okay, now he knows
Deer's army could theoretically win here, but if he had brought some probes with him,
oh man,
maybe this could have been a victory.
Dark is going to win this. What an exciting end, though.
It's going to be one of our few games without a G. Oh, he does GG.
Nicely done.
All right. That was really well played by Dark throughout, and then Deer gave himself a shot. Dark was ready to engage at the main location, and Deer was like, no, let's walk up this ramp and do it differently. But at the end of the day, he did not have, a base trade scenario really set up.
Right.
I think he wanted to fight the entire army, and Dark did not let that occur.
So we are going to have an interview now with Dark. It'll be translated by Brian, our translator from the GSL versus the World. He did a great job, so we're bringing him back. And we're going to see exactly how Dark is feeling. Dark is now the first player to advance to the round of 16 here in the GSL Code S. Brian, take it away.
2019년 첫 공식전 승자 박명우 선수 만나보겠습니다.
All right, let's meet our first advancer, Dark.
네, 올해
Congratulations.
첫 경기 엘리전도 나왔습니다. 먼저 개막전 승리 소감부터
On the
들어볼게요.
opening day, we had a base trade scenario. Can you please tell us how you feel about your victory today?
저희 조 선수분들이 되게 잘하셔서
I was very anxious prior to the matches because there were a lot of stellar players in our group, but it wasn't easy at all. In the end, I made it through, so I'm very happy in regards to it.
밸런스 패치도 있었고
There was recent balance patches, and also there were new maps going into this season. There were a lot of preparations that had to be done to prepare for this match. What kind of preparation did you do? I couldn't practice a lot on the new maps, but I tried to use the veto system as much as possible in order to make the series favorable for me, because I personally feel like all these this season's map pool is very bad for Zerg to play on.
올해 첫 단추는 잘 꿰지만 사실
No, you got the first step right this season by advancing to the round of 16. But we believe that you have a lot of expectations for yourself. On your pre-game interview, you mentioned about getting a new automobile. So, but in order to meet that expectation, you also have to go through one of the biggest mountains available, which is Serral. How do you feel about Serral? I was looking through all the database, and I've never seen Serral play on the newest patch available. So I'll try to kind of wait and then see how he does on this newest patch, and then kind of analyze it out. And then once I kind of get a feel for it, then I think I can figure it out. Now this has been a match for a very long time. You have the 4-month hiatus. How do you feel about playing on this first day of 2019 in GSL? I think Deer played very sharp. There were a lot of exclusions that he made in terms of decision makings on his builds, but because he played very sharp, I had to be very cautious in regards to choosing my own builds and how to execute my gameplays. But I think I won in the end due to it, and then I made it through. So I'll try to keep up the good work.
네, 계속해서 GSL 이벤트 안내해드리겠습니다.
Damn, that was so much better than Tasteless translations. It's not even close.
Brian, not that far from Brain.
We're gonna try him commentating next over your spot and see if he's better at that than you as well.
And after that, we'll have him grow a beard and see how much better it looks, and then I'll be completely obsolete.
Because I'm guessing he's better at dribbling a basketball. He's better at throwing a baseball.
That's right. He's better at drawing.
He's a better human, man.
Hang on to your tickets, guys. I was just informed to let you know that we do have a giveaway, as always, at the end of the show. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, the losers match in day 1 of the GSL Codex.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
We are lying. Tell you the truth. Sometimes we laugh and mislead. Alright, it's fake. Show
shadows frozen in disguise tonight. So much for superheroes. We'll find a way to survive this time. Atoms realign, the fusion deep inside is raging, always raging on. The greatness that awaits from a shell of empty space, you're waiting, always waiting for a warrior to take me far from all the darkness surrounding. Where are my superheroes? Their shadows frozen in disguise tonight. So much for superheroes. We'll find a way to survive this time.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
마운틴듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
Welcome back. We are going to the losers match. It's Trust versus Keen. They've been having a bad day so far. Definitely outclassed by Deer and Dark. Now, Dark is just advanced, making him the first player to move on to the round of 16. And Deer is still looking like the clear second favorite to advance out of this group. But what is going to happen here with Trust and Keen? I feel like Keen is definitely a more accomplished player, has a better reputation.
Yeah.
But there's always a chance for an upset, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's not that far off of an even match. Like, Trust definitely has ups and downs. I feel like he's one of the players that maybe needs a team more than others, but he's qualified for actually more big tournaments than Keen, I think. Like some of the small big ones. Like
I think especially recently, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few like super tournaments. I remember, what was it? I Am Shanghai, I Am Gyeonggi, you know, some very kind of elite tournaments he's made it into, but he's not quite that top tier. The same can kind of be said for Keen overall, and I generally do consider him a little bit better. Yeah, what happens here? I felt like Keen played pretty well against Deer, but we haven't seen Trust's PVT yet. We don't know how he wants to approach this.
Kairos Junction is going to start this off here on map 1. Our game's ready, guys. Let's just do this. Let's go into it. I can't sit here and yammer like that. We got to just start this game.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Fine. Start it.
하이로스 정션. 게임 준비 완료. 아프리카 S2 킹.
The lack of name bars is actually bothering me more than it should. I feel like we're in Game of Thrones and everyone's the nameless man.
It's the idealist race.
I am a Protoss with no name.
Yeah.
AKA barcode. So.
Well, let's see how this PVT goes. And specifically what Trust is going to do here. Trust was eliminated so fast, I don't feel like I really got a good feel for what he can really do here today, especially in game 2 of our first best of 3. I mean, he tried that timing that was shut down so poorly, it looked like it wasn't even a build.
Well, I think he got a little bit unlucky there too, because Dark was planning on getting some aggression going. So Dark had kind of made a bunch of units, and with Protoss, you're trying to like catch them at very sharp times. So you actually want Dark playing a completely normal game with the build he used, which just made it look so much worse than it needed to.
Okay, the probe here blocking as Keen wants to get an expansion up pretty quickly. And so again, the CC is placed in a less than ideal location. I like that setup over there, that's cute.
Yeah.
Little wall off there.
Oh, that's really nice.
To basically just make it not easy for a Reaper to get in.
Get out of here, Reapers.
Yeah. Little Reaper jail.
Yep, they come up there, especially if you throw a force field down.
Yeah. What if the Reaper had a cooldown on when it could jump?
A cooldown on when it could jump?
Yeah.
Should we nerf the Reaper even more now that Byun is in the military? Yeah. God. He's going to come out and be
like,
you
know what? Do the jump every 5 seconds.
He's going to come out and see Tasteless's new Reaper and just say, you know what, I'm just going to play StarCraft 1 now. I've had enough of this.
Yeah. It's going to be even worse when we have that other part of the patch where the unit icon screen fills up the whole in-game thing, and the actual in-game thing is in the unit icon screen.
Yeah. Minimap's normal, though.
Yeah, minimap's fine.
So, Twilight coming out here very quickly for Trust. That's actually a more common opener than is the very quick robo that we saw from Deer, at least from games that I've been watching. A lot of Protosses have been liking to get into a very quick blink. Now throwing down a couple gates. Of course, you want that wall off just in case. You're not sure right now exactly what's coming. If they go for the Tor Hellion build, you're just going to die if you don't do that.
Okay, so it bounces that Sentry, but we have Blink coming up.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I mean, nothing too crazy out of Keen this game. Looks like he is just going to go for a little bit of a Widowmine draw.
Here's that hallucinated Oracle.
Yeah.
Going down now to the center right. And it'll sweep through the natural and the main. Trying to get a read on what's going on here. Really good control so far by Trust.
I think it doesn't matter too much. Reaper Grenade is not that damageful anymore.
No. Damageful?
Yeah. It's not as full of damage as once upon a time it was.
Good scout comes in. And again, Blink is about halfway done. He does, wow, just right in front of him. Just picks that up and heads out, okay.
I think it's pretty obvious when you have 2 Widowmines waiting outside the starport what's going to happen.
I'll wait for this to die, and then I'll go out. He'll be surprised.
Yeah. You should cancel that tech lab and make a reactor now.
Now, keep in mind, when you have Blink, it's much easier to shut down drops.
Oh, certainly.
So let's see if the medevac is caught at all.
And even, the Widowmine drops are not quite as strong as they used to be, just based on the fact that you can see them after they blow up. So
sometimes with Blink, you want to keep the Stalkers not as close to the edge like this, so you can blink in and actually get the kill. But Blink wasn't quite done yet.
Yeah.
He did not opt to try to sneak Widowmines over there where the mineral patches are to maybe get an easier kill later on. Maybe he'll do that now, though.
I think he's being very, very careful at the moment with this medevac. Obviously, if you lose that and your Widowmine's not doing any damage, it's about as bad as it can be. But Trust is just really kind of powering up. We saw him add the double forge, and here comes the 1-1 as well as charge. So he's going to be a little bit low on units for a little bit. This is very, very, very counter to how we saw Deer playing it, right? He's kind of skimping on everything and going for a very strong mid game, which is going to make this attack that's coming in.
Whoa,
oops.
Seems like he knew there could have been a Widow Mine there and just didn't quite time that. He certainly blinked away, probably knowing that's a common hiding point there.
Yeah.
But
he lost 2 stalkers.
Whoa, 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 whoa! That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The push is coming here. Keep in mind, Keen has been nice. Keen has been heavily reliant on these timing attacks. A lot of times pulling SCVs. We don't have any SCVs pulled just yet. That doesn't mean it couldn't happen later on.
Yeah, this attack is a lot scarier when you're doing a build like what we see here. There's no additional robo units here. Definitely these stalkers are very microable, but with the tanks sieging up, it's really hard to actually engage with your stalkers.
Just real quick, I want to point out he was actually using the medevac to juggle the tanks so they couldn't be sniped by the stalkers. Almost as if it was a war prism there. Really nicely done. I don't think he can actually save this. The sentry goes down. The stalkers are going to try to come around from the side. Good catch on the Banshee.
Now this is really good. The fact that he's picking off these units, yeah, he lost that third base. He's lost a few units here. But there's the possibility with Charge finishing up, 1-1 finishing up, that he can just kill off this entire army and still be in this game.
The thing is, he can actually still... Hold on.
Oh, wow.
There's a counterattack happening here. I'm a little bit worried, though, because this is a pretty fearsome army here for the Terran.
Yeah.
And with a medevac, you can actually pick up and back up. The Stalkers haven't done anything yet. They could try to come back over here and help out in that regard, but... already, by the way, Trust is expanding at the 12 o'clock position. Oh, man, this Banshee killing workers. I think he just sniped an observer there.
As the rest of these Stalkers come back, though, and he has this little group of Zods, he will clear this army. And, I mean, yeah, he lost 5 probes. That's pretty rough, but he had pulled the probes from his third, right? So it's like he's still got a 2-base economy. He's got decent upgrades. And he should just go bust this very, very soon.
How did that not die? I can't believe it. That was actually really important that he got that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the tanks aren't siege when he comes in, too. That's perfect.
Well, it's kind of an awkward spot here for the Terran because he knows he can't get back home, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like he was looking to possibly reposition, thinking that since that Banshee didn't die, the tank volleys would have actually scared away, or just the threat of that would have scared him away. But it looks like Trust called his bluff and just came in there for the kill. Now we have, from Trust, an attack coming down now. I'm not sure how much damage it's going to do. I don't see any tank here at all.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem.
And there's no bunker now. This SCV is certainly going to be picked off. And, you know, actually, this is pretty scary.
If he had a Guardian Shield, this would be a lot stronger right now. But it is 1-1 against 0-0 at the moment. Comes in, does, I mean, that was all right. It was a nice little poke, some reasonable damage.
Yeah, you make a really good point about if he had a Guardian Shield. That's like, that would have just been huge. But seems
Guardian
like he doesn't...
Shield and then a charge into those units. Like, ooh. There weren't even medevacs there at the beginning.
But I like the fact that Trust backs off. Now, Keen did... oh, hold on. The Stalkers are coming up here. Narrowly blinking away. Looks like he's trying to check and see if there's going to be any counterattack play.
Yeah, and he sees that there's some medevacs out right now. He's just kind of keeping a little bit of pressure on. And he's retaking his third, right? So definitely there are some things going on for Trust, but Keen just finished up his Ghost Academy. And the fact that the splash of choice coming out of Trust is that Psystorm, this is going to give Keen a big opportunity, right? Because he is definitely going to make an army that's hard to kill. And with a couple EMPs being laid down, no splash damage against it, are we going to see a big enough army field from Trust to hold on?
Okay, Keen's going to try to come across the map now. Storm is still a little ways off when you consider how fast these units can actually move north. Another scan here. He confirms that there's Templars. We see the Templars in the War Prism. That's so that they can't be sniped as easily. Oh, wow. That's just out of vision. How funny. So let's see how much damage this actually does. He might actually get a lot of workers here, especially if Trust isn't eyeballing the mini-map. Really good reactions there by Trust.
Nice and quick. Not bad at all. It's as good as it can be. Okay. So the game kind of getting into a stable state here now. Trust's upgrades are looking really nice. He's going to be finishing up his 2-2 here. +2 attack just started for Keen. So I feel like right now the main thing for Keen is he needs to EMP these High Templars if possible. Like, if a couple storms land, there is no way that you will win the battle.
Keep in mind that with army compositions like what Keen has, it's harder to slow down. If they have siege tanks like we saw earlier, I guess we've got one, but if you have siege tanks in high numbers, you can definitely force them to siege and run away. A lot more momentum here from Keen. Turned that one Templar into an Archon. Now keep your eyes on the War Prism, guys. He wants to try to get some good storms. 2 or 3. Oh, hold on. Ooh! Barely getting that one shot off.
It's like they targeted 2 probes that were right next to each other, so the second shot really didn't do much there, but a reasonable drop.
Okay, he's coming up again. With the Widow Mines in the front, they're not going to be able to get the kind of probe that they want to get. Oh, great storms!
Yeah, those were ridiculous.
Okay, he's still on the run here.
Those and 2-2 upgrades, I mean, this is getting a little bit scary for Keen right now. Felt like he had a pretty reasonable opening, too.
Okay, Truss is beginning to close in. These infantry units are too squishy due to those side storms. Well, these Widow Mine hits do enough. Unfortunately, they do not with an observer present. And this Wallen is starting to look pretty flimsy right now. In fact, Truss decides to just go ahead and rotate down here to this completely exposed expansion, rich with SCVs.
Yeah, well, this could be just about the end. Like, he's losing so many SCVs at this point that even if he were to kill this army, it doesn't seem like he has much choice against a Truss taking a 4th base.
So eventually Keen has driven him out, but the number of SCVs killed was huge, 31. And, oh, now this is actually a pretty smart move. Okay, so Keen's going to try to go, knowing that Protoss is probably going to warp in again, get a few more robo units, and then push out. He's decided he's going to pick up, completely exposing that 3rd base, but giving him an opportunity to try to take out one of these bases up here.
And if he can snipe that Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, the 3rd base is actually the warp-in point for now, but if he could snipe this, that's something.
Here comes this scary Charge-Lot army. He does have a couple High Templars at least in that prism. Unsure of exact. Okay, yeah, they have Psystorm. Oh my God, beautiful storms coming out of there.
Oh yeah, there's just too much here from Trust. I think Keen had the right idea there, but I mean, Trust is just, he's got a really good closer here. And keep in mind, Keen was actually not remaking workers during any of this.
Sick pickup right there.
All right, Trust takes game 1.
Yeah, I kind of liked Keen's opening overall there, but when he kept his army on the other side, right, if your opponent is giving up the Nexus, they're obviously continuing to build units. If they're not fighting you, like if they're fighting you and you're reducing their unit count consistently, continue the push. But if they are just not doing that, if they're looping around and trying to, you know, hit your reinforcement units, I feel like that's when you really know what's up. They're going to try to crush your army. Right? Give up the Nexus, crush the army, and be like, okay, I'm still in a decent spot here. So I feel like that might have been Keen's biggest mistake in this game, where he continued to push. What damage did he get done on that continued push that cost him his entire army in the early game? He got 2 gateways and a pylon, and yeah, he got a few probes.
He got the 3rd too, but
yeah, I mean after the 3rd, like why not turn around?
Yeah, you're right. Well, it's, you know, that's the problem with that kind of push though, Artos, is it's actually hard to get back. The infantry number is too small. They're still warping units in. When they have Blink, it is hard to get away with the medevac, and I think Keen had to make an executive decision there, and it did not work out.
Certainly
New repugnancy. Indeed. I wonder if they're talking about the fact that on Twitch the Overwatch icon looks a lot more like Fortnite right now. I don't know. That's my new repugnancy, Artosis.
What's a repugnancy?
Oh, like a bad smell, like it disgusts you.
Oh.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다.
Oh yeah, like repugnant. Yeah.
New 게임 준비 완료.
Well, I was looking at it, I'm like, pugnacious? Like
warlike? Pugs like dogs? Like, I love pugs.
아프리카 S2 킹.
So hold on, your new repugnancy is what?
You know, on Twitch, that Overwatch icon, they changed it. All these icons on Twitch, if you watch, are starting to look more and more like the Fortnite.
Oh, are they?
When you're on browse, yeah. People
trying to trick people?
I don't know, but it just seems like I've seen it with other games too, where I'm like, huh? Because I never found like on Twitch the Fortnite icon to be like that much of a good icon. But it's like that's what they're going with. But now all these other games are like copying it. Because all games are just like constantly trying to copy each other and be more like the other thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
so the Overwatch icon looks like the Fortnite icon now.
Yeah, unless I'm wrong, unless that's what the Overwatch icon looked like that originally and Fortnite tried to look like it, and I'm actually the jackass here. I don't know.
But that is, that's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it is funny, right? But what we really need in this game is Fortnite dances for the units are toast.
Wait, listen, we had dances long before that game
yeah,
was
we
ever
did.
even thought of.
Okay, so we have Keen already proxying. And I think at this point in time, in almost every best of 3, we should expect in one of the games for the Terran to be putting things in the middle of the map. I mean, Maro's basically proven that this is not even necessarily risky.
Oh, certainly.
We used to look at proxies and be like, oh, you're cheesy. You don't want to play a normal game. But actually, it seems like it's actually totally fine.
No,
it's actually smart.
In fact, this is just a Reaper, and he's flying it back. And in the build that we see here, out of trust, the only difference that he made in this build is getting out of Zealot. And I mean, the Chrono Boost and the Stalker he probably would have done anyway. So it's not like he even had to do much different.
Yeah, yeah.
Or actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I think he started the Cybernex core before the Nexus, but that's been around for a little bit right now.
Yeah, it's a small adjustment in the build to make sure that things are timed out a little bit more nicely.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a straight up StarCraft 1 probe go right underneath that and deny.
There's nothing better than putting a pylon under the factory.
It's one of the most satisfying things in the early game ever.
Especially if they're switching the add-on.
Yeah, especially if it's someone lower rank in a ladder game and they're like, oh, my ladder anxiety's kicked in. Oh.
I don't want to believe I'm bad at video games.
I can't handle losing in a game.
Where's my Xbox trophies?
I know. I hate that in games, these little achievements.
So stupid.
When they have it in these single-player games where there's already a story, it's like you're like playing one of these adventure games and you find the flashlight and then this thing pops up on Steam, like the flashlight trophy. It's like, no, the flashlight helps you beat the game anyways. I don't need little medals.
The trophies are so stupid.
If it's an icon like you've got 100 headshots now, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay.
But everyone does that now because people are tapping into the deepest parts of the human brain, which I like to call the shallowest parts of the human brain, where you figure out what makes people tick, and like even Twitch has this now, where it's like, oh, you streamed like 10 hours. Look at that. There's your thing. And like, you know what's really funny? You and I play a chess app against each other quite a bit.
Yeah,
and I got an achievement on it last night, and I'm like, what is going on here? It gave me some achievement because I did a certain amount of like puzzles on it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, do I need that for chess? Do people who play chess need that?
This is the future. It's nothing but achievements, and nobody's gonna have grades anymore.
Yeah,
what it is.
God.
So this time around,
don't worry, guys. You don't need to try. Everyone's amazing.
Everyone's amazing at this game. Now, this time around here, we're seeing once again some tanks and Banshee. Actually, I should say once again, this is actually already sort of different from what we had before, but Banshee Cloak coming here as well this time,
and
which we did not have in the last game.
I really like the pooling of the 2 Banshees because it lines up with Cloak a little bit more. And again, if they have a shield battery, 1 Banshee does 0, and it gives them more time to prepare, whereas if they haven't scouted it and 2 Banshees come in, oh my god, the damage can be really, really large. We already saw that a little bit today with Keen against Steer. So we'll see how these Banshees do as the second one pops up.
I want to turn this all around now. I'm thinking I want achievements in life.
Yeah.
I want to it's like I had my 3rd glass of water today. It's like you've had 3 glasses of water. Like, yeah. Totally turn this around, Artosis.
You know what? I bet you there's an app for that.
Tasteless.
And if
you've
there's
used this many different verbs in the cast, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll never achieve that one.
Okay, here comes that push. Now, Cloak is done. Now, this is, of course, meant to hit probes, but it's also meant to try to get the army to relocate. However, Stalkers are already in the middle of the map. They're not actually defending any probes at all. They're just the 2 that are here.
Where is the second Banshee?
It's with the main army.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yeah.
because I thought he was going to send
Oh, no,
them
it's
both
not.
together.
What?
Right? Because he waited for 2.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it... I don't know. Not sure where it is. But anyways, he's getting a pretty significant amount of damage done. 4 kills. Not bad.
Gotta be careful. When you're moving out against these stalkers, especially if your army gets split into a line, it's really easy for the stalkers to snipe everything and then blink away.
Indeed. Look at this. Oh my god, he blinks on top of the tank.
That was actually an unexpected engagement there.
And he gets the Banshee. 2 tanks in the Banshee. Look at all these SCVs that came. What are they going to repair? It's not that much to repair now.
Well, let's see how this actually does. Is that Banshee in the main still there? He got that, right?
No, it's still around. It's actually hitting again right now.
Trust has more utility until this is able to set up at the 2nd or the 3rd base. See where it's sieging up here? Now, bunkers are being littered down here, but he's going to try to blink forward and take out the tank, but has he taken too much damage with the stalkers already?
Well, Marines without their upgrades, without medevacs, are not nearly as scary. So yeah, you sacrifice a lot of stalkers, but really the tanks are what make it impossible for stalkers to sit there and fight.
Okay, he needs to pull back, wait for this next tank here. In fact, he got every single SCV that was making the bunkers. He's going to have to use the rest of these SCVs to try to repair. Now, I don't know that he can blink forward here. There's just enough, but with an Immortal out, he can definitely buy some more time.
And now he's getting some bunkers up, so still some play here for Keen. That 3rd base is mining. Look at this. He's thinking about coming down here and thinking to defend it.
Ooh! Now keep in mind, when he blinks there with that cooldown, there's always a chance Terran just rotates around and hits another side. The bunkers definitely cut the movement here in half.
Yeah. Well, blinks up and will pick off the other Banshee as well. So overall, Trust doing a pretty good job of reducing the army size here.
Good snipe on the Observer, especially when you need to keep making Immortals. Is there any other Observer here?
I don't see an Immortal or an Observer right now, but there's no more Banshees here.
But there's one that's popping out right now, so that'll be heading across the map.
Look at how many bunkers.
Yeah, this is actually...
He's so serious about this. He's trying so hard to win.
He's trying to. It's like he wants to win so bad.
Is this really in the spirit of the game?
Is it really a win if he had to use that many buildings, not just units? Okay. Can we get some more bunkers here, really?
Oh my god.
Get that tank in that bunker fast! Oh!
Well, that is a lot of charge lots coming in. They're actually being messed up by these SCVs quite a bit.
Look at all these bunkers just getting owned.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out for Keen.
Wow. You know, when you see that many bunkers, you would have thought it would have done better, but I guess not. I guess Immortals really are that good.
Well, at least it's a happy moment for Terran players. With Keen not winning any maps tonight, they can continue to act as if this matchup is completely broken.
Okay. I don't believe that you can stop this counterattack here. I mean, he can just like Ogre Bash his way through this entrance.
You mean Monster Punch, Ogre Bash?
Ogre Bash.
Look at this is my new repugnancy, is you trying to make an Ogre Punch.
Ogre Bash, buddy.
Ogre Bash,
yeah. This game is done, guys. Trust has managed to survive, but he's going to be going up against Deer in the final match of the day. Unless this Banshee kills the entire Protoss's base.
Yeah.
There is no hope.
Have to target that cannon on the Nexus for that to happen.
Yeah.
That would be quite a misclick.
Okay, well done. Trust.
Ooh, and look at this. Losers match with an apostrophe after the S. That means that both these guys are losers and they both are in the match. That's brutal. That is the opposite of an achievement.
Oh, that's a good catch.
That's a plural ownership right there, my friend.
That's a good catch, yeah. Ooh, just a couple losers facing off down here.
This is your match, guys.
It's a race to the bottom.
Wow.
Okay. Keen, unfortunately, bad start to the year here. He dies. And so that's it for Keen, but now we're going to have to go on. Look at that Mountain Dew right there. Beautiful. That's right. He's got to be careful to take that mask off if he's going to drink it, though. All right, guys, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, the last best of 3 in day 1 of the GSL Codex.
us walking in out your life. I'd trade a couple hundred just to get some time back, that's right. Cause for you and me, I got no alibi, you feel like home. Oh.
So there you go again. You wanna play pretend, well I can't. You try to reminisce, go running back to him like you planned. You're stepping on the gas to run right over him where he stands. Can't be a part of this. Go while you traveling on your man. I'm sorry, but I would not invite a thief to watch my house or hold my things. I'm saying if you were walking in these shoes, you would trip over the truth. I wish I could forget we ever met. You know we hit a dead end. So turn around, reroute, we say no disrespect. No disrespect. No disrespect. So turn around, reroute, reset. No disrespect. So here I go again. Back in the lion's den. Here's a chance to right the wrongs you made. You took another swing and a miss. Next time you're both in bed and he's inside his head. Answer this. What will you say to him to build the confidence that you killed? I'm sorry, but I would not invite a thief to watch my house or hold my things. I'm saying if you were walking in these shoes, you would trip over the truth. I wish I could forget we ever met. You know we hit a dead end. So turn around, reroute, we say no disrespect. No disrespect. No disrespect. So turn around, reroute, we say no disrespect.
Baby, I've seen the world, it's not that pretty. I'd rather be in a world with you right with me. There's an infinite universe on my retina display. Will you take the time to forget and sail away with me? What do you see in me? 'Cause I see everything in you. Lost up in the stars, but I might come down soon. Take me to my utopia, 'cause I've been here forever. Stuck down in the ground with all my roots tangled together. What do you see?
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
I've been living in a cage, spinning words across the page, fighting for air, but I can't keep up with you. Going down, I hit the gas, hoping this time I would crash straight into your heart where I couldn't lay to rest. All the demons, all the lies, all the devils in disguise, all the anger in your eyes.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
Doing it. MMA. He is back. He's getting GG. Ladies and gentlemen, Liquid Tasia. Ready to roll, ready or not, ready to give it all I've got. Gotta make me give me something to believe in. Ready to roll.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
You guys notice that we brought back the old GSL logo.
Yeah.
That was our best logo.
It's super handsome.
This goes in cycles. We've been around long enough that we're bringing that one back.
Whenever I see a logo, I just think to myself, if we made this into a throwing star, how good would it be? And this is so much better than the previous one.
Yeah.
Like, this will actually catch. Like this will hurt.
If I have that GSL logo, they're not going to let me go on an airplane with it.
No,
They'll be like, sir,
absolutely
this
not.
could be a weapon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're goddamn right, it could be. And then I throw it like Blade and kill everybody.
Goes right around the room.
That's right.
Jeez.
Okay, so it's going to be a PvP to end the afternoon. It's going to be Trust versus Deer. Now, I feel like Deer should be the favorite, but, you know, best of 3, that's not a lot of games. Maybe Trust has some tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, no,
we haven't had a mirror matchup yet.
It's PvP. You know, there's a little bit more play here for a lesser player to beat a better player. But I still feel like Deer is pretty heavily favored.
Yes. All right, let's go. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. I just gave out. My energy bars are too low. All right, guys, let's go into our last best of 3 of the night. Deer versus Trust.
이어 제로. 게임 준비 완료. Trust.
You know, every time that you don't answer me, you say you had to take a drink of water, whether that was what you were doing or not. Like you could have been giving someone the Heimlich maneuver. It's like, it's okay to tell people you just saved a life, okay?
Yeah.
No, I was drinking water.
That time I was, don't want to interrupt that, boys. That time I was biting the head off of a snake, but I just stopped drinking water because, you know, PETA's going to come get me if they know if I'm doing that.
Aussie taste born over here, biting the heads off animals.
That's right, yeah. Right after the GG, just barf.
Yeah. So wait, which player's which? Okay, that's Trust.
There's no way to know it because of the bottom left.
Yeah.
By the way, casting off of this screen over here, or excuse me, this screen, it's I didn't realize how reliant I was on the names down there to just keep track when I'm doing play-by-play.
Tasis wasn't sure which player was dark in that PVZ.
I was so confused.
But so already a little bit of an interesting play here from Trust. He's walling his natural. Now, there's some kind of cool things that you can do when you wall your natural like that, because it kind of screams that you're going to take a very fast expansion. Does this force your opponent to get aggressive? Thing is, you can either take the fast expansion or you can play kind of safe behind it. I saw some cool games from Patience, who was killing some of the qualifiers and stuff in the last month or so, where he was doing builds like this, and then he's just like, makes a ton of units behind, and then when he gets attacked, he's like, yeah, no problem. Just hold on easily. My gates are just a slightly more forward than normal. But it is going to be a Stargate on both sides. Couple of depths.
Let's go ahead and see where this goes. I mean, for the time being, besides building positioning, thematically they're basically mirroring each other for what they're going to be doing. But yeah, I mean, having the buildings out here like this does allow you to maybe get that up, the Nexus Supplement a little bit more easily without having to worry about shades, since buildings do block shades unlike units.
Yeah. You know what else blocks shades? 20 probes on your main mineral line. Thanks, Alpha Star. Trust going across with his couple of adepts here, both sides, with the Nexus and the Phoenix play. So Phoenix versus Phoenix, I mean, this might just turn into a regular Phoenix versus Phoenix game, but you never know if someone's going to switch into Blinks, switch into a strong Warp Gate attack with the Phoenixes, or just go into that just crazy balls to the wall, only Phoenixes, you know.
Whoa, look at it!
Everyone's just making Nexus. Oh! Look at all those red
Oh,
eyes.
God, it's going to get him. Okay, it got away.
Why is that thing here on year 0? If this is year 0.
Why is that guy not on every map is what I want to know.
Jeez, seriously. Forget about Space Shark.
Does he have a name?
Don't even care. I don't know. Thulu Tasis is what it looks like.
Thulu?
Yeah.
Okay, we already have 5 probes being killed here. This is actually, that's like 7 probes too many now.
God. Well, there's that play I was talking about. lets you fight well in a PvP.
Now, in this mirror matchup especially, because things can heat up pretty quickly, losing that many probes at the start is a pretty big blow.
Yeah. And Trust adding the second Stargate at this point after killing that many probes, I think, is obviously a very smart play.
Let's also keep in mind that Phoenixes can definitely allow you to come back and get some probe kills of your own.
But when it is Phoenix versus Phoenix, you got to be super careful at that. If you dive in and are killing probes and they kill your Phoenixes, that can actually just be game over.
So I would imagine from here, Trust needs to play probably a more conservative game. And he's now entering the Phoenix Arms race as well. And this is kind of a funny situation it's always been the case in PvP, is that if you're both going Phoenixes, then you can't stop going Phoenixes, generally speaking.
Yeah, there's some very sharp things that you can try to do where you'll catch them at a point where they only have a couple more Phoenixes. Like, look, he's going for a Twilight. Now, will this Twilight be for Blink, or will this be for DTs? Because I think Deer knows right now, and rightfully so, that his realistic chances of staying on Phoenix and winning this game are 0. Because this situation for Trust, like when you kill 7 probes like that, I think it's very easy to just add your second Stargate, make like 4 rounds out of it, and be like, I'm ahead.
Okay, here we go. It's starting, and even if you're microing away, you're still going to be part of the fight.
Yeah.
And it looks like actually Trust is going to be able to pursue just slightly.
That was
it's kind of a weird situation, because if you get too close to your opponent's side of the map, then their Phoenixes get there a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, so it is Dark Shrine here. That's super cool. And look, it's his center location. He's making a gateway so he can warp it in more easily.
And one of the reasons for this is because they're both forced into the Phoenix arms race. The other player is going to try to slip in a tech that can actually negate any purpose of the Phoenixes here. I mean, if the invisible units come in and start killing workers, the Phoenixes can't do anything about it.
And it's perfect off of the back of that one engagement that we already saw, because that makes it seem like Deer is going Phoenixes. Now, there are some Zealots being sent out. This is the one way that you can kind of do things with Phoenix or Phoenix. You do get a little bit of an additional bank in the minerals, and you can send out some Zealots and whatnot, but will they scout this? This is so important. If he sees this... Oh, man.
Wow.
That is unlucky.
That's so close.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the idea is still there, is to try to comb the map with these units and just make sure that you really do have an idea of what's going on. But
it's brutal.
The fact that he missed that can even mean he might be even more sure that this is not coming.
Yeah, it's a really good way to put it. Seeing the third base, this is what you expect to see. Look, like, Trust is so sure it's Phoenix versus Phoenix.
We got
the game
3
is
K
over.
boys on the way.
Yeah, this is it. You cannot recover from this.
They're not embarrassed to wear capes, but nobody can see them, so it doesn't.
If somehow you could get, like, you could stop these DTs, he has enough Phoenixes that he could really wreck, but oh no. Now that they're split, no way. No way, no how.
Look at this.
Chrono Boost, Oracle's out, but the amount of probes he's going to lose, I feel like from here you make 2
That's
Archons.
it, GG.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's just the game.
Wow.
Not all our games end with a big fight.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Trust
look at the difference in expressions here.
He's bummed out.
Well, that's going to be it for year 0. Today, we're going to go to game 2. Deer really showing why he's able to, well, he's been around for so long, why he's been able to win at GSL. I think Trust was playing well, but very good decision-making from Deer. It's too bad, too, because the, remember that scouting Zealot, I think it was 2 of them, did not spot the hidden buildings there that had the DT tech.
They were just barely out of where they could have done that. Like, that was his chance. He definitely would have been in a dominating position if he had scouted that. That was very all in from Deer. He lost too many probes, and he knew he was way behind.
I feel like Trust is more stressed than most of the players we see in GSL. And I don't mean to psychoanalyze too much, but I really do feel like there's like a lot of tension. You can see he really wants to win.
Yeah. Well, he's never really made it big, and there aren't other tournaments. It's like you play GSL, and there's a few online cups, and that's it. And if you're going to be a pro gamer, how long are you going to do it getting out in the round of 32? Can't do it forever, I don't think.
You cannot.
Unless you're a part-time model like Losira.
All right, guys, game 2's ready. Trust versus Deer.
GSL 시즌 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 하이로스 정션 게임 준비 완료. 트러스트
GSL's back, guys.
In case you didn't notice.
We missed you.
Like, what is this? Is this a show match?
Why am I enjoying this so much?
뉴비 디아
So PvP, this is a matchup where there's a lot of different possible ways the game can pan out. It's a matchup where there are so many different builds on each side, which means depending on what builds you're going for, you end up with so many different situations that you're in. And instinct plays a big role as well. It's not like everything's mapped out so perfectly that you do this and then you go to, you know, step B and step C and so forth and so on. There's a lot of tech jukes and jives you can do, like we saw in our first game where it was a Phoenix arm race, but he kind of in an underhanded, sneaky move snuck DTs him.
Yeah. And, you know, that can definitely happen in this matchup from time to time.
I do feel like Trust has had, even though, you know, he's made it all the way to the final match of the day, he's had a bit of a demoralizing day. His losses have been pretty brutal. He's had these timing attacks that didn't look like they were even real builds because they were shut down so well. He's had games where, I mean, look, it is one of the worst feelings when the DTs just show up and you're like, oh.
Well, especially that game because by every other metric, he was winning that game. You know, he got the early damage in. He had more Phoenixes. And there's the only thing more damning of a PvP than having more Phoenixes than your opponents when you're both going Phoenixes is DTs. When you don't have detection.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that ends it quicker, because if it's like 14 Phoenixes against 9, which it was when the DT showed up, you just fly over the map and you kill him, and he's like, oh, okay, GG.
Yeah. And then you slam your keyboard and you knock that beautiful Mountain Dew into the mechanical keyboard, and it's just the day's just gotten worse.
Dude. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
want to do that.
These mechanical keyboards are expensive.
And then you go downstairs, get more Mountain Dew, and Mom didn't buy another 12-pack, and then it's just, you know.
How could you?
Yeah. And then you start yelling at Mom, and then she takes away your internet. It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if your mom shops at Sam's Club. Mountain Lightning, you ever have that stuff?
Oh, God.
Ooh. Don't try it, guys.
Yeah.
Gross.
So we have Blink Tech coming here for Deer. With the hallucinated Phoenix flying through here on both sides, just scouting each other out. We're already going into a very different game than what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah.
This is not going to be that Phoenix. The Phoenix is massing against Phoenix is massing.
No. In fact, we probably won't see any Phoenixes at all.
Yeah.
With Trust going into a Robo here, obviously that is going to be used to get some Immortals out to counter the Blink. Unless he gets massive damage done right here. I mean,
hold on. The Sentry. Oh!
Yeah, he gets the Sentry. You can't save that.
Yeah.
There's no shield battery down here either.
And then this Sentry's going to come in here.
And now you force through that ramp, and I mean, that's...
Yeah, he's actually going to be able to get in the way of the ramp here. Yeah. This is what he wants. The probes are going to come out. They have to come out to try to help defend. Get that one. Oh, sucker away. Woo!
Oh, that's...
Okay, so sometimes things just come to an end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trust just putting that
this
pressure
wasn't,
on.
Guys, this wasn't like part of Trust's plan, but he was dealt a good hand here.
Yeah, he produced a lot of units, came down for that pressure,
and then it turned into something that would actually not just do damage harass-wise, but basically take out the Nexus. And now the pressure's really on for Deer here. I mean, he's more of a veteran than Trust, but Trust is, I think, suddenly realizing he's got a real shot. How much energy's on that Sentry?
And not enough.
Not enough?
Field. No.
Looks like it's close, though.
Gosh, is this Trust? I mean, beautiful micro right there.
GG.
Nice.
Damn.
That was really well done.
Yeah. Okay, he's just got to win one more.
Well, I could say the same about Deer.
Whoa. Well, that's it. I mean, it's kind of funny because that is StarCraft sometimes. It's less about overarching strategies, and sometimes it's just about a little bit of, you're in a bad position, you take too many hits, you lose too many, especially with that Sentry went down. And mathematically, Trust is such the favorite. And of course, he did a great job shading that Adept into the main to kind of compound that damage, where not only was that Nexus going to be destroyed, but it did force Deer to go back and try to defend workers. But of course, most of those workers still died anyways.
Right. Deer going to take a little break here, a little breather, try to figure out what he is going to do on our next map. It is going to be King's Cove.
Putting my Mountain Dew back.
You know, that's
they saw me
open
before I was
and
going to do it.
And has Mountain Dew in there.
That's okay.
So this could
Would it be cool if when we leave to go on break, I pull one of these and then a bookshelf switches around and it's our secret caster chamber.
Us and we're looking at the screen.
Yeah,
that's how we cast.
It just turns us around. We're always almost losing our balance because we're standing. So one of our players has requested a break, and oh no, that's just somebody in the audience. So I don't know who, but we'll be going back into our final game in just a little bit. We could have Trust actually win in a real upset, or we could have Deer move on as we expect.
That would be a brutal result for Deer, because Deer is one of the guys that is generally on the fringe of making it to BlizzCon each year, to the World Championships.
Yeah.
So if you do this poorly in this group, you're not off to a great start as far as the points go.
And when you consider the fact that we haven't had StarCraft 2 in any kind of GSL capacity for months now, this is really important for these guys. We're about to hit Lunar New Year here. These guys really want to have a good start to that year, and one of them is going to go down. I will say I think it's a It's rough for Deer there that he just sort of got out-positioned. He had the wrong units in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And then, from there, it's less of a strategic win and more of you didn't cover all of your bases back there.
Certainly this second game, like when you're going blink, if your opponent is making stalkers, you've cut a few corners, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have any shield batteries. He wasn't really ready for the initial push. He was out of position, as you say. I don't know. I feel like it was not the tip-top play that you really need here because people can just kill you in PvP sometimes.
Yeah,
they have more stalkers that come in and micro a little bit better than you. There's not a lot to do to come back from that.
No.
And if you're the blink player, like your power spike is coming after that's done, so you have to play almost more carefully up to that point because until blink is done, whatever your opponent did is basically better than what you're doing.
Yeah, it's actually a very good way to put it is stalkers on their own are actually so weak versus everything, but once you can actually manipulate the environment via blink, they become much, much stronger. Although I guess if you're Deer, you're probably not too stressed out. I mean, that happens in any game where you go, okay, I get it. It's not how you're supposed to lose, but it does happen, whereas I think that Trust has not looked as sound strategically as Deer has overall today.
Well, yeah, overall, I think Deer has definitely shown better games, especially with their series against Dark. But if you look at both these games, Trust should have won both of them. Realistically, he was ahead in both. He got early damage in both.
Right? Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have the detection. I mean, it's that is a fairly common thing to go for DCs.
That's how Deer got him, though, right?
Yeah.
That's how he got his map win. So you look at the series so far. If you cover up these nameplates, you're like, yeah, this Protoss that is Trust is just doing better.
Well, it's all going to go down on not a cave, not a catwalk, but a cove. A cove for a king, Artosis, for our final map.
A catwalk, not a catwalk.
Yeah, well, definitely not that. No.
게임이
It's not even a
시작됩니다.
natural occurrence.
No.
킹스 콜. 게임 준비 완료. 트러스트. 뉴비. 디아.
Say something, Tasis.
I will not. I've been casting this entire time through interpretive dance, but they won't put a camera on me.
I know.
So
that's what we need instead of the cord head lady.
Yeah,
big camera on Tasis, whatever he's doing.
That's right.
Whenever you're
It's
playing,
like that guy.
you play in the middle of the night. It's just like Tasis sleeping in his bed. You see him like roll over and stuff, and like.
Yeah, I got that camera on me. It's like that that fake sign language guy at Nelson Mandela's funeral.
Oh my God!
How did that guy get there? I want to know the story of that. He probably was doing fake sign language for so long, and then eventually he got this really big appearance fee to do this. He's like, this is going to be my last big con. Then I got to get out of the fake sign language game.
Seriously.
Okay, so there's 2 proxy pylons. The one here for Deer is not far from his main and most likely to not be scouted. The one here for Trust is actually in very close proximity to where Deer is. So these are 2 different types of proxies. Deer's is probably more to hide something if he gets scouted, whereas Trust is probably trying to do something threatening very early on.
I think that's a good way to put it. For sure, Trust is trying to be aggressive. Deer, it might be like a delayed aggression. It could be like a Stargate for Oracle or something like that. Both sides. Oh my God, yeah, look how aggressive that is. Proxy Robo. So this Stargate, I mean, it's likely for Oracles. Normally when I see one that's like that, I think that that's what you're looking at. But the fact that a Robo is being made by Trust, I mean, this is... he's going for it, man. He might actually eliminate Deer here.
That would be a big upset. And hey, man, if you're Trust, it's just one GSL day at a time.
Yeah.
I know that the goal for every one of our players is to win, is to be #1, but Trust is such an underdog compared to these other Titans that are in our tournament. But wait.
No, that's Trust units.
I spooked myself. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, just do it one day at a time. Take Deer out, go back to the lab, come up with some more builds, and bring it again in the round of 16.
Well, Deer is actually going Phoenixes, so I was wrong about that. But obviously, Phoenixes can be very helpful. Immortals being made as opposed to a Prism. Probably a Prism will come eventually, but I mean, the Phoenixes can fare reasonably well there, I guess. Both sides making quite a few Adepts.
So, I know there's been a spike in popularity here for StarCraft 2 since last year was so good. Just a little basic theme for the people that are still trying to kind of learn here is that the shades can't go through buildings, so this probe, well, there was a probe there, is used to make a pylon to bounce the shades off, and then you cancel it.
Yeah, and they can't go, shades can't go through other shades either,
Correct,
so
correct.
that's one way you can block ramps.
And so that's what he's doing now.
And that won't cost you any money to do so.
So we have the War Prism coming out. Now, Immortal is already scary to anybody, any Protoss. It's basically one of the best units in the game. Okay, almost messing that up. But the combination of an Immortal being juggled in and out of a War Prism is so abusive and so strong. As long as you do not lose that War Prism, we're Immortal.
Okay, so this Nexus, 0% chance of getting up. The Phoenixes actually have not been seen yet.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit awkward. There's no sentry here. There's nothing that can actually block this.
Again, there's not enough Stalkers to actually stop them from killing this Prism, so that is a gigantic kill right there. But the standing army is very, very strong right now for Trust.
Now, if these Phoenixes can get enough lifts on these Stalkers, I think he might, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon here. This is a lot of damage already being dished out. Well, especially if he can actually target down that pylon.
I feel like he should have lifted the Immortal quite some time ago here. That dealt a lot of damage to those Stalkers.
I agree. I was wondering about that when I was watching.
Yeah,
did he make anything else out of the Robo?
No.
Or is this just set up so that you get one out?
Wow.
And then it's all hinged on keeping that Immortal alive?
Yeah, no, it seems like that's what it was. You know, obviously the Phoenixes are going to be a great counter to that. He did not end up killing the Nexus, so Trust is going to go even more all in here. Now, the Phoenixes are running out of energy. They will go low, and what do we have right now on them? Maybe 1 lift, 2 lifts? Eventually, we're going to get like 6 lifts, and that's where, you know, Deer can absolutely win this game, but there is this little window of opportunity here for Trust.
Okay, Trust is coming up. Trying to put some pressure on. Now, note the targeting here, really nice. Pops
really
one of those
good.
Phoenixes.
And that was one that had a lift as well, and there was another lift he got rid of. Oh my God, just great targeting by Trust.
The problem is with these Zealots on the ground, even though they're slow, it forces the Stalkers to start to kite backwards, which allows the Phoenixes and the Stalkers to then pick off the lifted Stalkers. So now somehow he's kind of grazing right by the actual proxy location, and Trust is going for DTs. So let's just bear in mind. Okay, hold on, he's going back.
Great micro from Deer there for sure. And catching all these proxy buildings is fantastic. Does Deer skip detection? He makes an Oracle, so it doesn't seem like it.
Okay, it's all going to come down to these DTs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, Robo being made. And, I mean, the Oracle that we already mentioned, so.
And when you consider how long it takes for a Dark Shrine to finish.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I think this is pretty well done here by Deer, too. It's just, okay, I mean, you just want to cover your bases. Let's just make sure I can't lose anything because I have such a tremendous lead here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. How does this keep? Okay, he sees it.
Okay, well, that's about it for Trust, unfortunately. This is not a situation that anyone in the world could come back
I
from.
actually really wanted to see how this would go if he hadn't seen that because, you know, sometimes even if you have the detection, you still aren't actually ready for it. And so that's it. GG, Deer advances in a very close series.
It was quite close. You know, Trust really pushed that very heavily, very quickly. He didn't know about the Phoenixes, and that is a gigantic problem. They just dismantled it. Pretty good play overall, I guess, from Trust today, right? Like,
look, I think
he played well against Keen. He played well against Deer. The series against Dark was tough, but when is a series against Dark not tough? Only when you're Sarah.
Okay, we are bringing Deer up to the the interview area. We're going to have an interview translated by Brian from GSL versus the World and see how he's feeling now that he is the second player to advance to the round of 16 in the GSL Code S. Thought we were going to go to that a little bit more quickly, but
throwing that too quick.
Mark my words, we will have that interview. And it will be translated.
Oh, yes, it will.
Oh, yes.
2019 마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 개막전 2위 진출자
2019 GSL on the opening day, the second player to advance to the second group stage is Deer.
네,
Congratulations.
최종전은 그래도 조금 아슬아슬했습니다.
That was very
개막전
nail-biting Deciders match series. How do you feel about advancing to the next round? No, initially I was just gonna beat Dark and just make my path easy to round of 16. However, things didn't work out, and I never expected to meet Trust at the Deciders match. And you know, it was very gruesome.
사실
there were a lot of aura left on the winner's match because you were on the upper hand even on the second game, and you kind of let the game slip away from your hands by 4 roaches that went roundabouts to get all of your pros.
제가 다크 빌드라는 걸 인지하고 있어야 되는데 이게
No, I was supposed to figure out that that is a Dark Templar build that I use, but I kind of forgot it on the way while using morphing them into Archons. So I even forgot the fact that I even had a Dark Shrine. So I was supposed to use this Dark Templars as a source to buy time. However, I failed to do so. So in the end, things didn't work out. No, I think you worked really hard during the off season, and you did a lot of great preparations. You took out Keen 2-0, and also you also took out Maru in the qualifiers. How do you feel about your success in Protoss versus Terran? You know, Terrans do a lot of semi all-in or very aggressive builds early on, and I just try to counter all those aggressive builds, and things just worked out well because of my preparations. No, due to the new balance patches, how do you feel about the alterations compared to the past in regards to Protoss, the race itself? I feel like you know, the buildings has been a lot cheaper than before, so better than before, but I don't feel it's too substantial that it's gonna swing the entire landscape of the game. No, Dark mentioned in his interview that the Protoss' Death Ball army attack is very strong, and even if you're aware of it, you can't really fend it off. So how do you feel about that statement? No, the Immortal got 25 minerals more expensive, so I don't think it's that different by any means. So he's just him whining. Do you have any plans for the Lunar New Year holidays? Yeah, I'll probably head back home tomorrow and spend time with family. I think you can bring your good news to your family.
13위로 마무리를 했습니다.
No, you finished 13th and WCS Korea rankings last year. You can't be satisfied at all in regards to it. So can you please tell us about your future expectations? I've been joining a new team, and so gonna start fresh and then try to win both GSL and eventually BlizzCon at the end of the year. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 뉴비 백동준 선수를 만나봤는데요. 오늘 개막전 경기 결과 화면으로 만나보겠습니다.
And here are the results.
Okay, so Dark and Deer move on. That's not a shocker, but I think the games today were pretty good. Best of luck to Keen and Trust. Kind of sad to see Keen, the first one to go out, but you know, this group was tough.
Keen is definitely a good player, as is Trust, so I'm sure that we will see them back in the future. But I mean, these were obviously the two big favorites, Dark and Deer.
And I actually expect that they could even go to the round of 8. You know, both Dark and Deer looking very strong. So that is it for the first day of the GSL CODAS. Now, as we've mentioned before, it's Lunar New Year. This is like the big holiday here in Asia, so everybody goes back and sees their families, which means we have a couple days off, but when we come back, we are hitting it hard.
Yes.
It's going to be GSL nonstop. By the way, ASL, the StarCraft 1 sister tournament to the GSL, is already going on. You can find those VODs on YouTube. We're also live on YouTube or the Africa TV website. And here's what Group B will be. Classic, True, Lucera, and Trap.
And that will be on Thursday, not Wednesday. Our regular schedule is Saturdays and
Classic
Wednesdays.
with his anime hair. Whoa.
I know, right? These guys are so handsome.
He looks like a really handsome villain. Especially with these preppy outfits we put him in. Like they're all laughing while they're on Daddy's yacht. But your parents are poor.
Especially Lucira with that hair.
Yeah. Oh, Lucira. Yeah. Yeah. Lucira is just. He looks
can
so
play
rich.
The violin. You can tell
he
from
can
that picture.
absolutely can play the violin.
Certain look violin players have it. He's got it.
I've never seen more of a hedge fund kid than Lucira right there. Even though our makeup department dressed him for that, we kind of went for a theme. We're going preppy this time.
Yeah. You like the preppy theme?
No, I'm too much of a rock and roller, Artosis.
Yeah, you are a rock and roller.
I'm too much of a rocker. I'm too much of a bad dude. Okay, so here's where the rest of our days are. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Thursday.
That's right.
And the Thursday ones will be at 8 p.m., but not this coming week. It's a lot to swallow.
Yeah,
this
definitely
looks confusing.
Screenshot that.
But notice that it's vertical.
If you're confused, don't worry, so are we. I have anxiety knowing that if I'm going to make it in here on each of these right times.
Yeah.
It might be the 6:30 day, and I decide it's the 8 o'clock day, and then I'm in trouble with everybody.
Yeah, that would be bad, Thesis. I will already have been casting for 30 minutes when you get here.
That's right.
So, definitely watch GSL.
Do it. It's good to be back. We really did miss you guys. It was really weird to go that long without casting StarCraft 2.
We did miss you guys, but you guys missed us more. So, it's back. GSL's
it's
back.
Not a balanced relationship.
It's already been announced. We have everything from last year. It's looking fantastic.
Yes.
Good times.
Good times. And happy Lunar New Year to you guys. I know for a lot of our people in North America or Europe, they probably don't know that, don't know much about
years.
That's right.
The solar New Year?
You think that you own the whole year, but you don't.
Yeah, the solar New Year.
How dare you?
We already did.
Yes.
I don't even like that New Year. It's always on the same day. It's not even interesting.
Yeah.
Lunar New Year, on the other hand?
Well, that kind of depends on where the moon is, Artosis.
Yeah, it probably does.
Our old moon, lunar.
Yeah.
As they call him. That is all the time that we have. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you guys. Bye-bye.
마운틴듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
I'm waiting for you.
This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice tolerance.
GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.